think about that. Like how funny. I'm sorry, it's not funny, but kind of funny. It is funny. How funny would it be? Is like you hit that ball and it kneecaps the horse, and the horse just goes "Punk," and like face first into the ground. Like
even better. My God, new movie idea, guys. We had Goon, right?
Oh God.
Can we have a polo Goon, where the guy, it's the enforcer for the polo team, comes out, he's on his horse, and he's whacking that ball, trying to knock guys off of a horse.
Okay, we're playing fucking Quidditch now. Like that's exactly what.
No. That's a
broomstick.
broomstick.
They already made. Same fucking thing. Same thing. Same shit. All right, we're way off the rails here. We're way off. Okay. Anyways, all right.
That's gonna be the start. That whole conversation is gonna be the start of this YouTube video.
It will. I'm gonna put it in there.
What happens to horses that get wounded at the racetrack? They become glue, and that's the intro right there.
The last thing I want to know is like, do they use all male horses so that they're not wanting to hump the female if they're using female? Like, do they?
Oh
do
my
they
God!
Put this in like where they're not in heat? I don't know. Okay,
brother,
we're done. We're done.
That's mind blowing. No. Now you. If that's the case,
seriously,
no. If that's the case,
how do you keep a horse?
I want the female horse that doesn't want it, and I'm riding that one because she's gonna outrun a ball trying to get away from it.
I don't know. Have you seen how big these fucking horses are? Like,
let's go. We can move on.
Jesus Christ! Like you got to think like they're animals, right? They have needs too, I guess. You know. Okay. Anyways. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Rivalry Rundown. I am Alex Hartnett, and hey, look who finally decided to show back up. As I said last week, Daniel was coming home from vacation and caught a little bug. So good to see him back. Hopefully he's on the mend, but I would assume yes, even though he's drinking beer, and he's probably pretty happy now because the Yankees are just, I think at this point, unstoppable. I think it's inevitable. It's like Thanos. I'm inevitable. So
hey man, I'm just let's just go ahead and say it, okay? The Yankees, I want to say it, but you know how the jinx goes, right? Because if you say it, it don't happen. But at the same time, I don't want to say the exact opposite because then it won't happen either. Like that's just the way my luck is right now. But all right, the Yankees are definitely going to the playoffs. Don't know about the World Series yet. About the show.
Does it say you want to predict that World Series yet? Is that what you want to do?
Oh my God!
No, I mean,
think about it though.
Call it out. We 4 weeks ago we said that like they looked like a team that could potentially miss the playoffs.
They were what, like 13 weeks? They were like 13 games back, man. Like,
oh no, it was.
How are you going to do anything with that? Their whole pitching rotation was gone. Judge was hurt. Like they just didn't have anything going for them, and they were dropping games to teams that they should never lose to.
Yeah,
in a horrible fashion. So yeah, for them to come back and be, clinch a playoff berth, and they're 3 games up on the Red Sox in the wild card race. I mean, it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
It is crazy because like we were talking earlier today about this, about how the AL right now is not solidified at all.
God, no.
I'm pretty sure NL is not going to go anywhere. I think the teams that are set in the NL are pretty much set. Like I don't think it's going to change very much.
Well, there are more teams available are still able to get into the wild card race in the National League than there is in the AL. Because currently, right now, I mean, you got the Yankees. They already clinched their playoff berths, so we know we're good there. but the Red Sox, Detroit, and the Astros are the three that are still kind of hanging around trying to figure out the wild card. And we know Detroit's not going to win it. I mean, looking at their schedule,
It's a
they're
gauntlet.
they are dropping bad right now. So
I mean, Boston might come in there very hungry because they're only 3 games back. So it's going to be very hard. They need some help, obviously, from New York. I don't think New York's losing their last series. I'm very shocked if they do.
Detroit pulled a win
And
today. They beat Cleveland today. So they took one. So they got
they're
3 games
they're
left on
knotted up.
Boston.
Yeah, they're knotted up. So
Mm.
you got
Mm-mm.
3 games on Boston, and then you have New York playing
What's the thing?
Baltimore.
Yeah.
So, but it's Baltimore. Baltimore is like this team where they're like stacked with good players that you're like, what are we gonna do? Like, are we gonna actually be able to pitch? Are we actually gonna be able to hit? Like, so we don't know. But it's the crazy thing is like Tampa Bay is that sneaky good team where they could end up beating Toronto, and then it falls to like New York losing all to Baltimore. Like, you got to think Baltimore's out of it, right? Like, they're not getting in the playoffs. And maybe they're going to go, you know what? You know how good it would feel if we just swept New York? The last series of the game of the year, we just swept New York, and Boston just goes and beats Detroit, and Boston becomes the number 1 seed in the AL.
That would be
Obviously,
interesting.
we
Yeah.
have to wait and see what the Mariners do, but the Mariners are playing the Dodgers. So it's like, man,
Dude, Boston's losing 6-1 right now, bottom of the 8th, to the Blue Jays. That hurts.
that does.
So you get Detroit. Detroit gets a win today on Cleveland. You got Boston losing to the Blue Jays. Now they can still pull it back, but the Yankees are up 5-3 on the White Sox right now. It's interesting. Cubs are losing to the Mets. That's another big one.
Can we talk about one thing though?
Yeah, what's up?
Detroit. Like, Detroit for the whole entire year have been the powerhouse number 1 team in the AL. They have beat up on people that they should beat up on, and they beat up on people that, they realistically should have had a closer series against. And now we've come to the last 10 games. The last 10 games, they're 2-8 in the last 10 games. And they have seen their number 1 seed fall all the way to the Blue Jays and now the Seattle Mariners. And the Mariners are 9-1 in the last 10 games. So it's like, it's crazy to see what teams are realistically excelling towards the end of the season, because Seattle just 2 weeks ago was struggling to hit, struggling to pitch. They were on a skid.
And they've taken
and then
off.
all of a sudden they just take off. And it's just, that's what I love about baseball. That's what I love about coming close to playoff baseball. Getting to October, you just start seeing teams just turn it up a notch. And it's the most amazing thing to see. So, like, we were talking 5 weeks ago about the AL East, and we said, like, we know Toronto has a 4 or 5 game lead right now, but I would not be surprised if this comes down to the last series. And sure enough, it has. It has come down to the last series. Now, if Toronto beats Boston tonight, it falls to 3.5, and there's no way Boston can win the 1 series or number 1. Now they're just buying for a wild card. Then it goes just straight to New York, Toronto, and that's a lot to play for, because if you're Toronto or you're New York, you're like, how big is that number 1 seed? 1, you don't have to play wild card weekend, and 2, like, I don't think Seattle is going to let up against the Dodgers. I really think there's going to be so many good series going on this weekend. It's
Seattle
very
Seattle
hard
and the Dodgers is
to
going
top
to be
it.
rough. Let's just be real. That's going to be insanely tough.
And it is at home, though. Like, Seattle is at home, so Dodgers do have to travel to Seattle. So that's kind of in their favor. Pitching matchups, though, like, it just depends on who they have throwing. I haven't even looked at the pitching matchups, to be honest with you. But if they have like 1, 2, 3 going for the Dodgers, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard for the Mariners to win that. if it's more towards the back end of the rotation and maybe they finish off with like Ohtani, then if they take 2, then they are in a good position to potentially take that number 1 seed. I just am so shocked that Detroit has faltered this much toward
Detroit. Do we think Detroit can get their shit together and sweep Boston or pull 2-3 out of it? If let me think about it. They're only 3 games back. So if they got to win today, and then if Boston loses tonight, which it looks like they're going to, right? If they pull 2 off of Boston, that would pull them a half game up, roughly.
So currently right now, like they can't get the number 1 seed.
No, they can get the
Toronto,
number 1, but they can get ahead.
Yeah.
They can get ahead of Boston. I mean, they could at least pull a better.
Realistically, they're playing for the 3rd seed, or they're playing through 4, 5, or 6. That's realistically what they're playing for. And with them being literally dead set even with Cleveland, but the only reason why Cleveland is getting the Central is because they have a better divisional record against Detroit. So right now, Cleveland wins that head-to-head, and so they're technically, even though they're tied, they're the Central. So they need Cleveland to really falter against Texas. Now, they are at home against Texas, and Texas is, 5 games back. They're not getting in. So they're going to take that as like, hey, this is our last series. We're not just going to roll over and let this team just win the next 3 so that we can give it to them.
Fuck them over,
Exactly. So like, this is the crazy thing that we were talking about. Like, Toronto has a big series. Okay. They have a big series against Tampa Bay because if they want to hold that number 1 spot, they have to at least take 2. Seattle, big series against the Dodgers. If they want to take that 1 spot, they have to at least take 2 and have Toronto drop 3, like, because they're 1 game back. But again, right now, the Rockies and Mariners are top of the 1st. They're just starting. So I would believe the Mariners win this, right? Like, you would think the Mariners beat the Rockies and then are tied with Toronto. But if Toronto is beating right now the Red Sox 6-1, then it again, they're still maintaining that that 1 win. So they need to have Toronto drop 2 for them to get the number 1 seed. And then you have Cleveland, who's 4 games back that they're not going to catch them, but also are in a dead race heat with Detroit, who then Boston is going to play. So it's bonkers. It's bonkers. It's like the MLB knew the teams that were going to make the playoffs, and they're like, hey, let's just put them all playing each other at the end of the year and just see who comes out on top. Because you have Houston that is 1 game back from Detroit. So let's just say Boston goes into Detroit and sweeps them. And then Houston plays in Los Angeles, the Angels, and then sweeps them. You're going to get Houston in and Detroit out. Like 3 weeks ago, I would have never said, if somebody would have said, oh, Detroit's not going to make it, I would have been like, bullshit. Like, bullshit. But as you saw in the Central, literally they were like 13 games up in that division. And then all of a sudden, just crash and burn. So it's crazy. And even New York can still take that number 1 seed with a 3-game win over Baltimore.
That's going to be hard.
And right now they're winning 5-3 over the White Sox.
The Yankees in that Baltimore stint, they're running. It's kind of an odd. They're running their 4th, their 5th, and then their 3rd pitcher. They're not even running their 1st and 2nd because.
Which they're smart not to.
Number 1 just pitched yesterday. Number 2 is pitching tonight, so they're going to run 4, 5, and then 3.
Which they're smart. That's smart.
I mean, yeah, but that could
because if you're playing wild card, you only get 3 games.
That could
right?
swing either way at that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So like, if you have your 1 and 2 going, realistically, you're set up better. But if the other team plays it the same way, but here's the problem. Right now, if you look at the MLB picture, it does not look very nice to look at, because right now you have Boston playing New York, and Boston has a very rough schedule, the rough weekend with Detroit. Okay. So if Detroit wants to stay in, they got to pitch their their top guys if Skubal and Flaherty are going. If I'm Boston and I'm going up against that, I'm like, I could potentially, I can't, like, they could slide out of the playoffs by getting swept by Detroit. Detroit can slide out of the playoffs by getting swept by Boston. So it's like that series has something to play for. Cleveland, that series has something to play for. New York, that series has something to play for. Seattle, that series has something to play for. And Toronto.
Well, yeah.
So every single playoff team has something to play
Toronto's
for.
running their 2-5-1 as their pitching rotation for that series.
That's
Tampa.
rough because they're hoping that they can take 2 and then just solidify that 1 seat, so then they don't have to burn their pitchers and they can have a whole week off. Because if I'm Seattle and I'm Toronto, I'm trying everything in my power, and I am throwing my 1 and 2 or 3 or whatever I'm doing to maintain the 1 and 2 spot and force the other teams have to burn who they got. Because if I'm New York and I can come away with a sweep against Baltimore and take the 1 spot and not use my 1 and 2,
yeah,
that's scary. That's scary.
Seattle's going 2-4-5.
2-4-5.
2-4-5. And then let's see, Los Angeles is going.
I would imagine number 3 is going tonight. Then that's what I would imagine. So Flaherty is going night 1 against Boston.
No, I'm talking about Seattle against.
Oh, you're talking Seattle.
Los Angeles.
Sorry, I thought you were talking Detroit.
No, and then the Dodgers are running Sheehan, Glasnow, and Kershaw.
Okay, all right. I mean,
which is
very hittable guys, not throwing 1-2. So okay.
So that's what I'm saying. It's a lot. There's a lot up in the air. It's not. Yeah, everybody's trying to save their pitchers, but there's still a lot that could go there.
Which is smart. So like this is my question. If you know, like going into the last series of the year, okay, and you're not just vying for a playoff spot, but you're trying to compete to get a bye week the first week. Are you? In my mind, I'm going to put the most caliber potential on that mound that is going to get us through 6-7 innings and turn it over to our bullpen. But I'm only going to my bullpen guys that I know can at least get us out of jams or come in and shut the door. Like, I'm not going to the back end of my bullpen. I'm going to my closer and my setup if they get through 7, and that's it. Like, even if I'm winning by 4 runs, I'm going with my closer and my setup. And I'm going to run those 2 nights in a row. And I'm looking at every statistical thing going, how many games do I need to win to comfortably, 1, just make the playoffs, but 2, how many games do I have to win based on where I think the other team's going to finish, right? Because everyone's playing across the country, so you're not going to know the outcomes of games. Like, this very well could come down to the Sunday night game or the Sunday afternoon game, and you may not even know your seed. You may not even know where you're going to play game 1, which literally starts on Tuesday.
And you could very easily end up not being number 1 by Sunday when you finally finish your game and find out. Yeah.
The crazy thing is, like, Toronto, the weirdest thing ever, Toronto could drop, let's just say they drop all 3 to Tampa Bay. All right. New York wins all 3. They take the number 1 seed. Seattle wins 2 out of 1, because if Seattle wins tonight, that means Seattle, Toronto, and New York are all tied with the same record. Well, no, I'm sorry. Toronto and New York would have to lose tonight for them to be tied with the same record. So that means that if Toronto and New York win tonight, that means Seattle is back 1 game, or back 1 game from the number 1. So they know that they have to at least win 2. And then New York and Toronto have to lose 2. So the crazy thing is, though, if Toronto gets swept, not only would they fall all the way down to the wild card, but they would fall all the way down to the 5th seed. Going from, like, we get a bye, like, we don't have to play wild card weekend, all the way down to shit, we have to go on the road and play. Like, that's why I'm saying, like, what do you do? Like, how do you navigate this if you're a manager? Because my head would be fucking spinning, like trying to figure out just obviously you have to worry about your own team, right? Like you have to focus on your guys and what you can and can't do. But if I'm a manager, I'm like in the back of my brain, I'm going, all right, I got to win X amount of games. How am I going to set this up? Like, how much of a leash am I going to give my guys? So it's just, and if I'm the NL side, I'm like, shit, whatever. I like, who cares? Because I mean, every team in outside of, you know, probably Milwaukee. I don't think anybody's going to, yeah, Milwaukee's like dead set at 1. No one can surpass them unless the Phillies win all 3 and then Milwaukee loses 3 to Cincinnati, which very well could happen because Cincinnati's trying to get in. They're only a half game back from taking a wild card. So if I'm Philly, I'm going into this weekend series against the Twins, which again, they're the Twins. Like, I have a hard time believing Philly's going to lose 3 games to the Twins. Like that's probably the saving grace that, you know, Philly's like, oh yeah, we're going to Minnesota, or no, we're playing at home against Minnesota, whatever. And then you have Milwaukee that's like, do I throw my 1-2 and just win the first game and then it's like, it's over? Then I don't care what happens, because I would do that. I would put number 1 out there, Mazeroski or whatever his name is, and say, give me 7 innings. Give me a win. I don't care if it's 1-0. Give me a win.
They're
and then
starting with Priester, it looks like.
Oh,
They haven't announced the other 2 games, but they're starting with Priester.
I think that's what they're doing. They're waiting to see what happens, which they're smart, because let's just say Cincinnati wins that first game, right? And Philly wins their first game. Then it's like, shit, we're going to have to throw our 1-2. Like, we have to. But if Philly miraculously loses to the Twins, which again, what world? Like, if they miraculously lose, I don't know. What do you do? Like, what do you do? Like it's just, because like, say you both lose Friday night, then you ultimately have to throw both 1 and 2. Both teams would, like, because you're trying to compete, and that's realistically the only thing that's in play. Like, the Dodgers can't get number 1. Like, the most they can ever do is get the 3. But even San Diego is only 3 back. So if the Dodgers get swept by Seattle, that opens the door for San Diego. And the San Diego Padres are playing Arizona. So, which, again, Arizona's trying to get in. They're only a half game back, a game and a half. So it's crazy Philly, how how MLB ended this year. Like,
Philly's running their 4-1-2 in their rotation.
4-1-2. See, Philly's not taking any chances. Like, they don't want to give anybody the chance to get that number 2 seed. So they're going, if we win the first 2 with 4-1, we can sit 2 and start, and then it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't, like, you still let 2 go then. Like that's what you do. So it's, man, but there's so many things. Like, if Milwaukee wins and Philly loses the first game, like, it's over. Milwaukee can just sit everybody for the remaining 2 games and not give a shit. And then Philly would have to win the next 2, because then, like, Dodgers, like, this is crazy. Like, this is so crazy what baseball is going to be like this weekend. There's going to be so many things happening. So over this week, man, Cal Raleigh, 60 home runs.
Yeah, my God.
Like insane. All right. Like, insane for a catcher to have 60 home runs. And then Aaron Judge hitting 50 home runs for like the 4th time or whatever. And I went through his seasons. And do you know the seasons that
he hit 50
had?
And 51, by the way, in the same game, 8-1 win over the White Sox.
And, like, here's the crazy thing about Aaron Judge, is that the years that his home run numbers were down, it wasn't because he just was in a slump. It was because he got hurt. Like, that's it. And those were still years that he was projected to hit over 50 home runs. And then one of those years was COVID, where he only hit like, I think 16 or something like that in a 60 game, like that,
Yeah.
like still, the man is literally Babe Ruth reincarnated. Like, just a little bit taller, a little bit muscular, not as fat, probably doesn't drink as much beer or alcohol, but like the dude is Babe Ruth reincarnated. Like, no one can tell me any different now.
So let's
Like,
talk
straight up.
about it, right? Earlier this month, we know he passed Yogi Berra and Joe DiMaggio, made it to the fourth on the all-time home run list for the Yankees. He tied Ted Williams just this past Tuesday for most intentional walks in a season for an AL player with 34, which is crazy. As far as the home run record right now, right? Babe Ruth, Mark McGwire, and Sammy Sosa are the only other major leaguers to record 4 seasons with at least 50 home runs.
Hey, hold on one second. Dodgers clinch 4th straight NL West title, 12th in the last 13 years. So it doesn't even matter.
No.
The Dodgers aren't even going to remotely do anything this weekend. They're going to give Seattle like the easiest. So I would imagine the Dodgers are not going to throw their 1, 2, 3, 4. They might throw bullpen. Like, they might just throw bullpen. And so that's crazy.
Throw the shortstop, throw the first baseman.
Exactly. Like you don't give a shit at that point. You're like, Seattle, I'm going to gift you a
first round.
For maybe a first round bye.
Seed. Yeah.
First seed. I may gift you that. And then you got Toronto and New York over here, like, son of a bitch. like this is why playoff baseball is fucking crazy. All right, I just wanted to say that. It literally just happened. It just happened like 20 minutes ago. Like,
love that.
Like 12 in the last 13 years. 12. And this is with a San Diego team that has played unbelievable the last like 4 or 5 years.
The Dodgers, I still say it, man, they have the best like roster in baseball.
Well, they do. Well,
if
money
they could
buys
only
that.
get them, well, true. If they could only get them to always make it all the way, you know what I mean? Like,
I mean,
it's baseball, but you know,
I mean, the crazy thing is like they're gonna be the 3 seed because I don't think they can catch Philly, right? I don't know.
I think they were
if
4
can or
back on
not.
Philly.
Which, yeah, they're 4 back, so they can't. So they're deadlocked at 3. So they're going to play wild card, but they're going to host. It looks like they're going to host New York, but again, New York, the Mets could lose to Miami this weekend. Miami is a sneaky good team. Don't let Miami, fool you. But right now, the Mets are beating the Cubs 8-5. So then they
that hurts the Cubs. Like, we didn't even talk about them yet.
I mean, well, the Cubs, I would be, like I said before, I'd be pissed. I would be pissed. I would be pissed at an 89-69 record. Like, normally that's good enough to win the NL Central. And you had Milwaukee that just has not let up. But yet Milwaukee's 5-5 in their last 10. So again, if Milwaukee didn't play as good as they did in the month of August, like, looked like a team that was never going to lose. I think at one point they had won like 16 games in a row or something like that. And that's what propelled them to that number 1. And we were talking a couple weeks ago, could anybody win 100 games? I was like, maybe Milwaukee if they just continue. And I think they're going to fall 1 short. I really do. I think they're going to fall 1 short.
We talked about that, a couple weeks ago. It was so easy to figure, there were so many teams that were hitting that 100 mark or right at it. It was so easy to look at the field and know very quickly at coming up to this point right now that this team is number 1, number 2, number 3, it was so easy to just to place that bracket out. But then we roll into this year and it's been such a deadlock almost all year.
It has,
one team surges and then they all kind of fall back and one comes up, and it's just like this constant like horse race really of like who's gonna actually like solidify a spot.
Yeah,
and the Brewers are doing great. Yeah, they've got that lead, but they're only 2 up on the Philly
right now. Yeah, they're 3 up. They're 3 up on Philly. But the problem is like we don't know. I haven't seen who won that series. So it may, at the end of the day, may not matter. Like if Milwaukee won the 6-game series this year against the Phillies or whatever it is, then I don't know. Because again, it it just realistically matters. Like if it's deadlocked, if it's done, then it's going to go, based off a record and then head to head. And then I think it's NL wins or something like that. Like I haven't seen how they project who, if there's like a deadlock or anything like that. So it's crazy how this year has turned out because like a while ago we kind of figured we're like, oh, we look at these and they're like, I don't think anybody's catching that team. I don't think they're gonna miss the playoffs. And then here we are, literally 4 weeks later, and we're sitting here debating like what team is gonna have enough push to get into the playoffs. Like it's crazy because realistically, if I was Arizona or Cincinnati, like I'm hoping some teams lose, and I'm hoping that I can take 3 from San Diego, but then San Diego's 5.5 up. They're automatically in. Like they're not going to get out. Same with Chicago. So the NL is realistically only playing for one spot, and it's between the Mets, Reds, and Diamondbacks. And the Reds, like realistically, if I was Milwaukee, I'm not going any of my starters, and that bodes well for Cincinnati. So
Or they could still get a spot in, but it doesn't hurt anybody. And
exactly. So it's like, do you play for pride and still throw your ones, twos out, or do you what do you do in that situation? Do you like you go to Cincinnati and you're like, hey, we're gonna help you get in because you're in our division, like kind of so to speak. Because how crazy would it be is you have Brewers, Cubs, Cincinnati, and last year you had Cleveland, Detroit, Kansas City. Like 2 years in a row where you have 3 teams within the same division,
the same
that
division.
get in. Like that's crazy. And even last year, like we talked about this a little bit about why I felt the Royals made it in last year and why they didn't this year, because this year they had a better team than they did last year. But the only reason why they made it in last year and not this year is because everybody in the MLB beat the shit out of each other. Like it was so deadlocked
It was a
all the way up.
bloodbath.
It was like even like professional analysts on MLB Network were like, what the hell is going on in the MLB? Like we have teams outside of the White Sox and the Rockies just mollywhopping each other. And it's like no one is going to pull away at any point in time. And the Royals just kind of capitalized it because they had a month where I think they only lost like 3 games.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of what really propelled them into the playoffs. And then they went down the stretch where they were struggling, but they were still maintaining a big enough gap that it literally came down to the last series against the Braves last year. And I remember it, the Braves won the first game. It was a doubleheader because they got rained out or it snowed or something like that, like, or a bad storm or whatever. So they canceled Friday and they had a game Saturday and 2 games Saturday. Braves won the first game because that's what they needed to get in, and Kansas City won the second win, and that's what they needed to get in. So then it's just like,
nobody cared about game 3.
yeah, right. Nobody gave
We
a shit
all,
about
the
game
whole
3.
team, all the teams sat around, the pitcher's mound and had popcorn and sodas and watched a movie. And
it's crazy. Like Truist Field had two like parties going on literally at 2 different times. So like I'm pretty sure, actually, no, I'm sorry. Kansas City did it on Sunday and they got their party in Truist on Sunday, and then the Braves got theirs on Saturday. And I'm pretty sure that's how it went. So it's just like the crazy thing is like you celebrated a playoff entry in a ballpark and the other team celebrated a playoff entry in their own ballpark. So it's just like it's so crazy whenever you get into baseball this late and everything. And I pulled you off that because again, Dodgers winning it for literally the 12th time in 13 years is just
it's just crazy.
So stupid. It's so stupid. Like that's if baseball doesn't prove to you right there that they need some kind of structure in like a salary cap for teams, I know it takes away things. I do. I get it. I know
Well, it's
baseball
funny
players
because
get paid a
everybody's
lot more than NFL.
always said that New York paid the most money, and that's never, as far as I can remember, ever truly been true. Yeah, New York has a lot of money, but Los Angeles has always had the bank. They just
I'm
haven't
pretty sure
always had the set roster, you know?
I think there's 4 teams that are constantly up there in the most money spent. I think it's New York, Dodgers, Mets, maybe Philly, maybe, or Dodgers, Mets, Yankees, and I want to say it's Philly, but like it's just like these
Yankees,
4.
Dodgers, Boston,
Okay,
and
I
then
guess
the
I didn't think
Cubs,
Boston.
and then the
Really?
Giants are the top 5.
Really? Are on salary this year?
Yes, look.
Man, it's got to like Dodgers have to be up there. Mets have to be up
No,
there.
as far as salary goes for this year, yeah, the top 4 is the Mets, the Dodgers, the Yankees, and then the Phillies.
Yeah, okay. That's what I thought. That's what I thought it was. But statistically year after year, it's always Dodgers, Yankees, and then Mets are thrown in there, and then Philly every once in a
For
while.
this year, the Mets have the highest at $323.1 million.
Yeah, they signed
The
Soto,
Dodgers,
of course.
the Dodgers are at number 2 with 321.3.
That Soto contract and Polar Bear contract is quite extensive, and Lindor is quite extensive. So, and then they have that closer Diaz. So, like, it's quite extensive. I get that, but the crazy thing is like the Yankees are doing this without Garrett Cole, too. Like,
Oh, I know.
Garrett Cole can't come back, right? Tommy John is a whole year, I would assume.
No, he's not coming back till next year.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's what I thought. Because I was like, did he tear it early enough, like where he tore it before spring training, where he had enough time to maybe rehab to get if they made a World Series? I don't know.
No, he's out.
But the one thing I
out.
will tell you, I do not want it to be Yankees Dodgers again. I do not. I do not. But I have always said I said it last week when you were gone, I would love to see an ALCS between Boston and New York. So I'm pulling for New York this week to get that number 1 seed so that it can be potentially, and then Boston kind of slide up. Because if it can be that where, even if New York takes the number 2, which I don't think realistically, no, they can't. They would have to win, either take 1 or 2, or Seattle would have to. Yeah. So if New York goes to 2, not 1, sorry, and if Seattle takes 1, it can technically be a New York Boston ALCS. Man, if that doesn't get your juices flowing for just a rivalry ALCS, man, because if you haven't watched that Boston show on Netflix, or the 30 for 30 they did about that ALCS that Boston series with New York,
yeah, I'll have to go watch it.
Man, it's so good. So good.
The Yankees have 7 people on their injured list. 7.
Who's on there? I only know Garrett.
6 of them are fucking pitchers.
Is Serrano on there?
No. You have Brent Hedrick, who's got a forearm contusion. He'll be back here.
That was a Penn guy, right?
Yeah. That's another Lasagia. Another Penn guy. Garrett Cole, obviously, he won't be back till May. Is when he resumed playing catch August 11th.
That sounds
Tommy
about
John
right.
in March. So yeah, he won't be back.
You don't want that tendon to get tight. So I would imagine they would allow him to throw.
Clark Schmidt is out with Tommy John. Will be back.
I forgot they had Clark Schmidt.
2027.
So he tore it this year. Then
yeah. This is his second
that has
Tommy
to be
John.
Recent.
Too. This is his second Tommy John.
That's probably why they're
July
extending
4th. He heard it on July 4th.
Yeah. So that makes sense why they're extending it to 2027.
Then we have Oswaldo Cabrera, third base. He's out until next year. Come back in May. He tore a ligament and fractured his left ankle.
Oh, I remember that. That was in a spring training game.
Yep.
I remember them talking about that.
Jake Cousins is out until March or until 2026. He had a Tommy John. And then Chase Hampton's got a Tommy John. Won't be back until 2026 as well. So, yeah, that was bad. I mean, like, you're missing so many people and yet they managed to come back. Like that's just crazy.
How's
Absolutely
Ryan
crazy.
McMahon doing? Like, has he actually hit pretty well being with New York?
And they haven't fired him yet. Let's just be real.
I mean, I'm pretty sure he's old though. Like, he's pretty old. I'm surprised he's still moving. Maybe he's not. Maybe he's my age. Like, I don't know. Maybe he is my age,
I mean,
but
you are pretty old too, but
I am. Trying
he
to
is.
push.
Let's see here. Mr. McMahon this year is sitting at 60 runs, 106 hits, 501 at bats. So he's sitting.
What's his OBS? It's anything over 6. That's good. It's anything under 6. That's not good.
One could hope, right? OPS is 608.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I said OPS. I don't know because we were talking about OBS earlier.
Yep. I know what you meant. It's fine. It's okay. It's all right. It's
What's
still good. I
what's
mean,
he
but
slugging? What's he slugging?
311.
That's not bad.
He's only hitting a 199 though.
He wasn't a really good average hitter.
No,
He was
his on
good.
base is 297.
Doesn't get on a lot. Grounds out, flies out a lot. Sounds like.
Yep.
Oh man, I would love to see what these teams' chase rates are, because I would imagine their chase rates are probably one of the least strikeout teams, which is crazy because Kansas City was probably the least strikeout team this year. So it's crazy. And the only reason why I said that they missed the playoffs is 1, too many injuries early on, and 2, they just sucked at situational hitting. Like they just couldn't get guys in. There's been countless of times where I saw they had 2 guys on in scoring position with 1 out, and they couldn't get him in. It's like, how hard is it to fucking choke up on a bat and just put something out in the outfield? Like, you're a fucking professional baseball player.
Here's the one that makes me
understand your job.
Judge his OPS, right?
I bet it's high. I bet it's fucking 900. Jesus Christ. Holy shit. Yeah, and the crazy thing is they have him now with Cal Raleigh. They have Cal Raleigh actually winning the AL MVP over Judge. So I kind of would agree.
Judge lost. He missed out on a bunch of games.
Yeah, well, and that's why I was going to say, I was like, I kind of agree with it, but Judge did miss quite a bit of games. Cal Raleigh, I think, played the whole season. But Cal Raleigh has had a phenomenal year. Like, phenomenal.
Judge is currently sitting at 328 with 51 home runs, 109 RBIs. On base percentage is 455. He's got 173 hits. It's just fucking crazy.
I want to know how many of those home runs were at Yankee Stadium. I want to know
how many of those are at home.
Yeah, I really do. I want to know how many home runs he hit at Yankee Stadium. The numbers might be inflated a little bit. And then we need to find out how many of those home runs would be home runs in other ballparks. I mean, I know Judge is a monster, but
this year,
please tell me it's like 30. Please tell me it's like 30. High 20s.
You think?
I would assume. I would say high 20s.
At home, 24. And away, 27.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
So that's
so he's still hitting nukes. He's still hitting nukes no matter where he goes. Okay.
That says a lot, okay? Because a lot of players, their best home run stats come from their home games. They're not blasting them out of the park everywhere. So it says a lot about a player to be able to travel home and away and still do the same thing. Freaking wild.
Well, I mean, it is Aaron Judge. So, like, the dude has the shortest, most compact, most powerful swing that I've ever seen a baseball player have, and that dude just hits absolute piss nukes everywhere. Like, I would love to know his average ball speed off his bat. It probably has to be 105.
Probably.
I would assume. It's got to be high. Like,
Cal Raleigh has got 28 at home and 32 away.
Yeah, and Seattle's ballpark is big. Like that's so it's like that's the question. Like I want to know this, and then we can go back to what you were talking about, Yogi Berra and everything. How many hitters do you think would hit more home runs in like a Yankee Stadium compared to if like they went to a bigger ballpark? So let's do this. All right, I know it's 2 different types of players, 2 different types of caliber players, but let's take like Bobby Witt put him in New York, and then put Aaron Judge at Kauffman, do you think Aaron Judge still hits the same amount of home runs? Or do you think he's now more of a, I'm going to hit doubles and that type of guy? Because Bobby Witt has the power to hit home runs, right? And I think the last 3 years he's led the MLB in hardest average hit. Like, I think it's well over 90 that he is a lot of his balls that he hits are over 90 miles an hour off the bat. So I would be very curious to hear what people think is if you took a home run guy from a different team, stuck him in New York, and then took a home run guy from New York and stuck him in another big ballpark, would you have the same amount of home runs? Because you don't have the luxury of hitting in a smaller park. Like, even some can say that about Boston. Like, Boston, yes, it is a monster, but still, it's pretty short out to left field. So I don't know. That'd be good to hear.
So his average exit velocity this year, for Judge is 95 miles an hour.
Holy shit! I thought it was going to be 100.
His average bat speed this year, 77 miles an hour.
Oh my God, Jesus! He's swinging a baseball bat harder than some people can throw a baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Just think of that. And I could throw a baseball in the 90s. Like, I was like, whatever, I don't care. A lot of people can throw a baseball in the 90s. Not a lot of people can swing a bat 77 miles an hour. Like, that to me is just fucking insane. But whenever you have a giant of a man, God damn.
His average home run distance is 414 feet. Career.
This is average
for his career. So I get to your point. I don't give a shit what stadium you put him in, at home or away. Like,
oh my gosh, Jesus!
When he hits the ball, he hits the ball.
That is crazy, absolutely crazy.
His highest recorded exit velocity was 121, and that was back in 2017. So he's older now.
I mean, can you imagine him playing?
Believe it or not,
that
actually it set a StatCast era record for the hardest hit ball, and it contributed to what was considered one of the grandest rookie campaigns. That was his rookie year. Hit that off the the Orioles.
I mean, I went to a Royals game and I watched Ellie De La Cruz absolutely nuke a baseball into, like, over the fountains, and I was like, I'm pretty sure that's the farthest hit baseball I've ever seen to right field. Like,
see the one he hit out of I think he almost hit it completely out of Kauffman.
That's the one I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, 469 feet.
Yeah, like,
dude, 118 miles an hour, man.
I was literally sitting 20 rows back behind home plate, and I heard just nyak because I was enamored with my food, and just 2 seconds took my eyes off the game. Looked down, and all I heard was nyak, and I was like, oh my God, that is gone. And sure enough, I looked up, and that thing soared and soared and soared and did not come down. It was nuked. And that dude, that series just was on fire. I think he hit like 5 home runs that series, and it was like a nuts. 4-game or 3-game series. It was insane. I'm pretty sure he hit 2 in that one game that I was there. Like, hit 1 to right field and then 1 to, like, left center. And just...
That brings us back to what I was talking about earlier. Yesterday, his two home runs he hit yesterday on the White Sox, it tied him with Mickey Mantle for second on the Yankees all-time list with his 46th career multi-homer game. Only Babe Ruth at 68 has posted more multi-homer games as a Yankee.
I mean, that's doable. Like
1,000%.
20 games technically to do it, or 20. So divide that. So technically, if you do that 5 games over the next,
4 years.
5 years, you'll have 20. You'll definitely break it. Like, even if you do it 5 games over the next 4, you'll break it.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna break the all-time. Like, I don't think he's gonna hit Babe Ruth's number of home runs. I don't think he's gonna get to that.
What's he at? What's Babe Ruth at?
Oh, let's go look here. Stats.
Like, because if we're merely talking home runs, like, I'm pretty sure, isn't it like Hank Aaron that has the most home runs in history, baseball history?
Let's look here.
Pretty sure it's Hank.
In all of baseball, or are we talking about in Yankees?
No, just all of baseball. And then,
Gotcha.
well, do the Yankees one first, and then
So Yankees,
then we'll do
Babe Ruth is the leader. He's at 659.
600.
Yep. Then you got Mantle at 536, Gehrig at 493, and Judge at
They're all
366.
Yankees. Okay.
That's the
you
no,
just
that's
did
the
all
Yankees
Oh,
list.
that's just the Yankees. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm pretty sure it's Hank Aaron. I think Hank Aaron's like 751, something like that. Pretty sure it's Hank. Maybe it's even like 730.
For home runs, not Hank Aaron.
Who is it?
Barry Bonds.
Okay.
762. Hank Aaron at 755. Babe Ruth.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Albert Pujols is at 4 at 703.
I think Albert played
Babe
till he was
Ruth's
like 50.
all time was 714.
714. Man. Yeah, I don't think anybody's doing that. Here, okay. This now brings me to
I mean,
this
he played those years without, or prior to going to the Yankees. I mean, he's played for Boston for so many years. So
yeah, and that's when he was
696
also
with
a
the
pitcher
Yankees.
too.
Yeah.
This is my question. Okay, all right. Baseball has changed over the course of decades, right? So this is what I want to know. Take Babe Ruth and put him now. Put him now against pitchers like even starting in the 90s, early 2000s. Again, we're talking amidst the steroid era. We're talking against the cork bat era. So you put him in now. Does he hit that same amount of home runs? I don't think he does. I don't think he is the caliber player that he was because of how much baseball has changed and how much harder pitchers are throwing and how much more data and more ability to, I would say game plan and scope for pitchers it is now, and how they can set up hitters in different ways. And I'm pretty sure probably pitches, like just the sheer number of pitches that they could throw have probably changed. I don't know. I'd be interested to hear what you think. If it's like you put some of the players that we have now back then, do we have different leaders and home runs, extra base hits, hits, stolen bases?
All right.
And this is also coming from the guy that said, on our first show that you can't fucking compare people whenever sports change. And I'm over here doing it.
Let's do this. What's the year that he hit the most? Okay, so let's say 1927. Okay, I'm just gonna pick a year. 1927. Babe Ruth hit 60 home runs. That was the year that he hit. No, actually, 1934. He hit more. Take that back. Yeah, 1927. He hit 60 home runs. It was the most home runs he hit. Period. Okay, so let's see if we can pull up a stat here.
Because I'd be very interested to know. There's probably a couple things. One, were ballparks smaller back then, or were they bigger? Okay, I know bats were different.
So, okay. In 1927, they guesstimate that the fastest or the average fastball speed was about 80 to 86.
And what? In
1927.
So batting practice for guys now.
Right. Average ballpark size. 1927. So the average ballpark, there was no standard.
It's got to be smaller, right?
Like Yankee.
But then I keep on thinking of
in 1927,
Mesky Park and all that.
Straight away to center field was 490 feet.
Okay, don't go off Polo Grounds, all right? Because that was like 17 football fields long. So
okay, left field was 281 feet at Yankee Stadium.
There you go. Okay, but that's at Yankee Stadium.
Polo Grounds was only 483 at center field, and Yankee Stadium at center was 490. Wrigley Field center field was 447.
Shit, Yankee Stadium was that big?
Yeah.
Just center? Did they shorten the field?
Yankee Stadium, okay, was 281 at left, 295 at right, and 490 at center.
Shit, I didn't think it was.
But look at Wrigley. Well, at Polo Grounds was 279 at left, 258 at right, and 483 at center. But Wrigley,
it cut Wrigley though. A diamond.
Yeah, Wrigley was 319 to left, 318 to right, and 447 to center.
So they were bigger. Technically,
overall,
deep center. Center was bigger. The right and left field were shorter.
Park, which was Cleveland. This is a weird one. 375 to left, 420 to center, and 290 to right. So just kind of in the cut in. Yeah.
So kind of like that.
You look at the ballpark size, that has something to do with it, obviously. But I mean, you could hit down. These guys are clubbing them over left and right. They're not hitting them center. So take that into perspective, okay? Field size, left and right, no matter what batter, almost every batter in the MLB right now, even the pitchers, could put one over left or right field in a ballpark from back then, especially if it's 281. I mean, come on now. Okay? And then if your average fastball speed is like 86 miles an hour, if you were to take the pitchers of now, or the batters of now, and go put them back then, it would be just a club fest. If you were to go take those pitcher or batters from then and put them, just plop them into a ballpark right now in their prime, like in their absolute prime of their careers, and put them in Truist or wherever you want to drop them, I don't think that's happening. When you're facing down 101 mile an hour fastball.
Yeah.
And not only that, like think of the evolution of the pitches. I mean, they didn't have all the crazy shit that we have now. Could you imagine being Babe Ruth or Hank Aaron or some of these guys and walking up to the plate and somebody throws a corkscrew or some sort of knuckleball, 5-finger, whatever the fuck that, just does circles around your head before it comes back around and hits I mean, like, what the fuck? Every one of them is going to hit the dirt because they're not going to react fast enough to that, like 0.139 seconds or whatever it is that you that crazy stat.
You have Devin Williams out there throwing a fucking screwball and like just breaking ankles left and right.
Right. So I don't think that translates like it would in other sports. But I mean, and we talked about that. You really can because the evolution of it from there. But
right.
But could you imagine? Like, let's just everybody take a step back and put yourself in the shoes of a nice baseball player. Okay, we're surrounded by war. We got all this shit going on, and baseball is literally the only thing that's keeping this country together. And it's just enjoyable because pitching was great, batting was great. It was just fun to watch. You get all of this fanfare. It was literally the sport that brought the nation together. Okay, all right. You're one of the best players. And some dude walks up to you and says, "Hey, come with me," and puts you in a strange looking little 2-door car that he calls DeLorean and takes you back to 2025. And here you are walking into Yankee Stadium. You're in black and white and the rest of the stadium's in color. It's kind of weird. It's kind of crazy. But anyways, you walk into Yankee Stadium, they hand you a bat and a uniform and they tell you, "Hey, go out there and warm up." I don't care who you are. I'm shitting my pants, and I'm looking for that car to get the fuck back to my own time frame because
100%.
I'm telling you,
100%.
Could you imagine taking a pitching machine back to 1927 and setting that up in front of them? Because even that's
can you imagine taking a metal bat? Can you imagine taking just a metal bat back then? They'd be like, "What the fuck is this,
dude?" Even a pitching machine could still hit 90, 95.
Shit. Maybe the pitchers would be like, "Hey, I think we should just put this out there and just,
that would be hilarious."
Like,
hold
on. I have one thing. All right. Can you imagine like just taking fucking mascots back to the fucking 1920s and just letting them roam? like let them go fucking wild? Like people would be like, "What the fuck is happening?" Like you have, like I think of the dude from the Phillies, whatever their mascot is. Like he's just out there like fucking with people like all the time. Like that would be the most comical thing ever. Like just how many people would probably like think the world was ending or like we're getting invaded by aliens? Like that's the crazy.
We need to have that would be great. Anybody in Hollywood listening right now, okay, let me just fucking tell you this wonderful idea.
Sports comedy ever.
The greatest movie idea in the world. Okay, we had Field of Dreams and it was great. If you build it, they'll come. We watch a bunch of ghosts play baseball and whoop-de-doo. It's fucking great, right? Can we please, like we have Space Jam, we have all this other bullshit going on. Can we please, with all the technology we have, put this into play? I want an actual movie as realistic as you can make it, where we have players from whatever fucking time frames all come and try to play in the MLB. I
like
think
the
that would
players
be
get swapped. Like
yes.
like
I
the,
think
like
that
the
would be
hitters get
fucking
swapped.
hilarious. Yes.
Man, that would be good. I would laugh. I would think it would be funny. Just
It'd be
it's
the
just
greatest thing in the
anything.
world.
All right, here you go. What do you think about the new automated strike zone system that they're testing out right now in the Arizona League down there? I'm not a big fan of it. I think you need to have that human element in it. Like
I
like,
would
I
agree
get
with
it.
you.
I understand.
I would agree
But
with
why
you.
don't you put it as like a challenge? Like that's what I'm saying. Like instead of keeping it there the whole time. Like I think that's what it's for, right? For them to challenge.
It's supposed to be a challenge. But the problem is, okay, human error is one thing, right? And over the years, like let's go back, okay? Let's go back to when we were growing up watching baseball, avid fans, sitting around eating our little corn dogs at home in front of the TV with the big box on the back of it that nobody even knows what the fuck we're talking about now. You could see even back then, when there were some weird calls. But on average, there wasn't a lot of like super bad, blaring, like just horrible calls by the refs like there are now. It's like they're literally getting the descendants of Stevie Wonder and Helen Keller to, because, they got together and they had babies, right? Anyways, if you didn't know that, guys, that something they don't teach you in school. But anyways.
I mean, hey, they got Hernandez out there. So, they got him out.
Anyways.
How many games did that guy cost? Like,
they've
I
got
know.
the worst.
How many games
they're doing terrible, right? And you can fault refs in any sport, right? At some point, you got to hold them to a better standard. And I think some of these guys end up reffing for so long that they just don't have it anymore, or they've got money in it now. So, I mean, look at the NFL, right? The Chiefs have been paying these guys for, anyways. Anyways, I think the challenge portion of it, which is what they were originally deeming that for, because how do you challenge? You don't have a really great way to like live replay that, that's set in stone to be able to call that. So having that for a challenge, I think is perfect. But if refs are going to continue to call bad plays at the plate, it's going to ultimately end up becoming that way. It's going to end up being the end all be all, and refs are there, but it's always going to come down to what is done by the automations. And if it gets it right 9 times out of 10, that's better than the 5 out of 10.
Yeah. No, I mean, I agree. But it's like, I don't want us to go into this like iRobot fucking era where
no, but you're fucking over. It's not even fucking over the batters as much, dude. By the bad pitches and the bad calls, you're fucking over pitchers. And you're talking about guys that are now getting frustrated because of not their own merits, but because of a ref that can't call a game. And you're having guys that are having to like adjust to pitching outside of a normal strike zone to try to match what this one blind bat says should be the strike zone today. Yeah. And it's never, and even in that, it's never the same throughout the game. Like it changes.
The hitters
it's wandering
are different sizes.
But it wanders more than it should. So they don't know how to pitch. They don't know where to go with the ball because they're going to get screwed over in the end, and it gets frustrating. And what happens when players get frustrated? They overplay. They get hurt. Shit happens. So there's a lot more at cost or at stake there if they don't make a drastic change. And I've said this before, if you're not going to have a dedicated academy, which let's be real, with the amount of money that goes into professional sports and even collegiate sports, why the fuck don't we have a dedicated, hey, you want to do this? You are going to go through a dedicated academy and you're going to learn everything, and we're going to make sure and vet that you are doing things the right way before you ever step foot out there, and have a better rotation of guys that are able to go do that job and stay up on top of this. And as you start getting aged out, you're aged out. Like, I don't give a shit if you've been doing it for 30 years.
Yeah.
If your performance is failing, then you shouldn't be there. You look at the NFL and some of these collegiate refs, they can't make it down the field. How can you call a play? How can you call a penalty if you're 40 yards away from it?
Well, you can't. There's no way.
But you throw a flag,
you can't see it.
And then we have to wait for a camera replay now, which is, again, we don't protest it in football. where everything is now reviewable.
I mean, what happened to the one year where you could you could challenge a PI? Like, that's like, why didn't we ever have that back? Like, that seemed to work out well. And then now you have like refs that are throwing flags from 40 yards down the field, and they're like having a conversation with the other sideline judge. And
have you seen a lot of?
Did you see that?
Have you seen a lot of those flags have been getting picked up though this year? There's been a lot of flags getting picked up. You know why they're getting picked up this year? Because everything is instant replayed, and they're buzzing down before they ever. That's why they're having those huddles that are longer. They are literally getting real time confirmation of whether or not a flag is actually valid or not.
Well, it needed to be that way, to be honest with you. Like, it 100% needed to go to that. And the other thing with the NFL that kind of bridges the same way with MLB is the line check, is that automated line, which I have been saying that they needed that for years. And then also they need to put the same sensor on the goal line so that so like when you have a tush push situation, or you have a QB sneak situation and it's muffled at the line, and you're a side judge and you can't see down the line, that's where you have like that sensor where I think, like, I understand like lasers, you can block lasers and stuff like that. But if you have like a Wi-Fi sensor or whatever bandwidth, I mean, that's way over my head. I'm not that smart, but you have like a little light on top of the pylons, and then they shine or they go off if that ball does cross, then you automatically know. You're like, and there's no video evidence review. You already know, like, at some point that ball did cross the line. But how do you mitigate, like, it fumbled, crossed the line, and then recovered by another team? Like, and you didn't see it. Maybe it's under a pile or whatever. You just don't know.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of situations where
you're never going to get 100, but
right. That's why I'm saying the whole ball automated, strike automated thing. Like,
baseball's a little more cut and dry. Baseball's a little more cut and dry because you don't have people, piling on to, home plate to see if it's a strike or a ball. But I think the usage of a ref at home plate, an ump at home plate, is still valid because you do have those close calls on a slide. But at the same time, we all have these top-down cameras now at all of the stadiums where you can see real time what all happens. So having somebody there, a real person actually watching what's going on, I think that's great. I do like that baseball is finally getting some of this integration in there because it is ultimately going to keep things from going so far on left field like we've had over the last couple years, last couple seasons, where it's just like, what the fuck are you calling?
Yeah.
And it's going to keep the refs in check. But I think that the refs need to get better. We need to have better systems in place to make sure that they're actually doing their job right and that they're consistently getting the training or whatever they need, or if they just need rest, maybe they're just too damn tired. Like, whatever it needs to happen on all levels, all of these different sports, to make sure that you're getting a more consistent experience. Because teams are the ones that are taking the brunt of that. And like I said, once you start getting frustrated and your emotions start running hot, shit happens. And you just end up having people get hurt. You end up having all sorts of things happen because it just starts that snowball effect. So we kind of bridged into football. Are we good with baseball? We want to bridge. We want to kind of move over.
I mean, the last thing I will say about baseball is, like, the thing that I truly love, and that's why I played baseball for so long, is moments that when you get to the end of the season and you're playing, like, obviously I never played in the major leagues, and I never,
I did
played past college. So the one thing that I will say, that if you're not a big baseball fan and you're like, oh, I really like football, I can't get into baseball, like, I get it. I do. Even when I was playing, I was like, man, this is fucking boring. Like,
go to a game.
Like, I'm just like, I get it. But when you go through a season and you're making a playoff push, or you're making a World Series, or whatever it is for you, whatever, age you are, like, enjoy those moments because they don't happen very often. Your sports are meant to be set up to where they get more challenging every single year, and you have to continually step your game up because everybody is doing the same thing. And and this is like literally for every kid out there. Like, don't give up on your dream to play a bit like a sport, whether it be football, lacrosse, soccer, basketball, baseball, whatever it is. Like, continue to push and continue to make yourself better, because even the small, minute details really do matter, and they stand up. Because again, remember, talent will never, ever, ever surpass true grit and true, just tenacious, relentless, and just that mind. I am going to go out and do everything I can to get better, because you can have all the talent in the world, but if your work ethic sucks, then you're going to get surpassed by people that have less talent because their work ethic is so good. So just remember that when you watch these baseball games, these guys, whether you're a fan of them or not, have worked their whole entire life and worked their whole entire career to get to these moments. And that's just to play playoff baseball or whatever it is that you did. Maybe it's your summer league or your fall league or whatever, just to play in that big game. So if you don't like baseball, don't watch it just for the game. Watch it for the sheer appreciation that hard work does pay off, and they are living that proof that, you know, they went through a lot of shit. They went through a lot of things throughout the year. So I love whenever we get to playoff baseball. It is the most amazing time of the year. Like, obviously playoff football is better. Like, I get that. I agree. But it's just this sheer emotional buildup to it that you just get all these teams that are like, hey, we survived 182 game year. Like, we survived it. We made it through it.
Let's put that into perspective, okay? Because, you know, people, there's such an excitement around football season.
Exactly.
It's only a couple months. But if you look to what Alex is saying here, guys, baseball is that emotion and it builds up. It starts with training camp. It starts with preseason baseball, and you get the spring games and the exhibition games, and you're like, oh my God, this is great. My team looks good. Everybody's excited. They're fresh, ready to get out there. Think about it. They're playing 162 regular season games.
It's a lot.
That's a ton. That's 81 away and 81 at home. You're playing so much baseball. In perspective, college is 12 games. NFL, 15, 16 games. Okay? That's
17.
it.
17.
17. But that's it. That's all you're really playing.
Counting.
That's it. So there's a lot of excitement in football season, but it's very week to week, and it's only for a short run. And then if you didn't do well enough to get in beyond that, then your excitement's done, and then we all lounge around and we drink and be depressed until the next football season comes around. Baseball is a drag. It is a marathon. It's 162 games of ups and downs, emotions, slumps, doing great, hot streaks, up and down, injuries. What the fuck we doing? And you get to a point of getting to this point of the year, they're exhausted. These guys are tired. It's their profession. They do this, but even the best athletes are still going to be tired. They want to have that break. They're ready to get to that point. And that messes with your psyche. They miss their families. They miss being home. They want to have a break.
I mean, think of all the travel that they do throughout the year. Think of all the hotels that they stay in. Think of all the late nights getting done, having to get on a plane, not touching down until midnight or even 1 a.m. in the morning if you're playing on the East Coast and you're a West Coast team, or vice versa.
Yeah.
Or think of all the weather issues, the double headers that they eventually have to play because they get rained out. And it's a drag. And that's why I will stand on this.
Or all the guys that,
ground.
you know, their wives are pregnant, having babies, having all this stuff. And they're not there to be a part of this. They're missing out on so much. It's a drag. So yes, to Alex's point, it can seem monotonous. I'm watching the same things happen every day, every week, every month. But there is an emotion to it. There's a lot that goes to it. Look at the guys that go to the All-Star break, okay? Like the guys that end up getting to go to the All-Star game and play all of that stuff. For guys that have just played half their season and are tired already, they're so fucking happy to have a break. And it doesn't mean anything. At the end of the day, it means absolutely nothing for their stats. It doesn't mean anything other than a little bit of pride. That's it. But they got a break. They got to do something other than grind and just be, you know, putting our all on the line. And then they get to go back to it. That's back to work. It's like having your PTO, right? You take a vacation, then you're back to the grind. And then that's that long stretch of like, hey, I see the light at the end of the tunnel. God, I hope we do well because I really want to win this. I want that pride, that achievement. But at the same time, I don't care who they are. At the same time, they're also looking at, God, I really miss my couch.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. I mean,
miss having a break. So
if I'm on that plane all the time and traveling and staying in hotels, you're like, God damn, like I just want a 10-game stretch where I'm at home where I can fall asleep in my own fucking bed at a decent time.
I'm ready for the off
So
season. I'm ready to have a beer and,
exactly. I'm
watch
ready to
football.
just lounge and eat Cheetos and watch football all day. But I will end off on this, and I will die on this hill at anything and everything. And if you have if you don't agree, that's fine. You don't have to. You can debate me all you want, but I guarantee
don't
you'll
agree.
lose.
Okay.
Baseball is the hardest sport ever to play. And the only reason why I say that is, one, you have a small little ball traveling at over 90 miles an hour and then sometimes hit off a baseball bat at 120 plus on a ground where you're 90 feet away from them and you have no reaction time. Yes, I understand football is hard. I understand lacrosse. I understand golf. I get it. There's aspects of it, but the whole entirety of it is hard. You play a sport where if you go 3 for 10, you're in the Hall of Fame. That is failing numbers in any other sport, failing, 30% failing. But baseball, you're an all-star, Hall of Famer, first ballot. Like,
You have, okay, so
it's fucking crazy.
a batter only has between 125 to 225 milliseconds.
And
to
that's on a
decide-
90 mile an hour
to
fastball.
decide to swing, okay? Just to decide to swing.
That's
And
not
the
even
swing
idling.
the swing itself takes about 150 milliseconds to complete. But you roughly have your brain, okay, a batter's eye, this is all stats, okay? A batter's eye forms an image and sends it to the brain in about 75 milliseconds, and then they decide very quickly whether or not they're going to swing or not. It's that fast.
It's a game that's set up for you to fail. And
Yeah,
that just proves to you how good these guys are.
Ball crosses the plate usually in between 400 to 600 milliseconds.
I will tell you the scariest thing that I've ever experienced on a baseball field. And again, I haven't talked about this. I am blind on my right eye. I had a childhood accident, went blind, stitched through car keys in my eye, and I'll talk about that at another time. So, but I played baseball. I technically was not supposed to. I was not supposed to play any sport, period, because of it happening so young and then depth perception and everything like that. But I am, if anybody knows me, I don't like being told that I can't do something because then I'm just going to prove you wrong and just do it anyways. I don't
Yeah,
care.
he was told not to climb on something and play with a bird's nest, and he did it anyways, and ended up
100%
blowing his
did it.
ankle. But
Don't
anyways,
care.
Anyways,
Like I am the epitome of like, I'm going to tell you not to do it, like that red button, like don't touch. I'm going to 100% touch that button. Like it's just going to happen. Just deal with it. So it's just the hardest thing that I ever experienced, obviously, disability aside, was I was standing up in the batter's box and I was in college and this dude was throwing like 93, 94. And I shit you not, like I couldn't fucking pick up the baseball. Like I just couldn't. And I was never like a power hitter. I was an okay hitter. I think I hit, 270, 280, which is okay. Obviously in high school it was a little bit better. College I barely hit because I was a pitcher. So when I did hit, and this was in practice, like I couldn't pick up the baseball. So like I understand, like if people are like, oh, baseball can't be that hard, blah 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 blah. I want you to go to a batting cage. I want you to obviously put a helmet on because again, those machines will throw anything and anywhere. Crank it up to 85 miles an hour, just 85. And I want to see how many times you can hit that baseball. Like I really do. And then go to the next cage over at like 90, 91, and it's going to be so different. That's 5 to 6 miles an hour different. Like the ball moves differently. The rotations of the ball, like there's so much science behind it where it's like a 5 mile an hour difference is insane on what it changes and the outcome that it changes and the rotations that it does and the movement that it has. Like it can go in any direction at any point in time, and it's your decision with that speed to figure out what to do. So that is the last thing that I will ever die on. Obviously, I can be persuaded with other things and be talked into things like to understand, but that is not one of them. Baseball is by far the hardest sport that you will ever play in. Period.
I don't think soccer is the most toughest, hardest sport to play. Come on now.
It's the most athletic, probably, right? No, I'm joking.
No, I think underwater basket weaving would honestly be the most athletic. Let's just be real. But
people say water polo. Water polo is like truly physical because, again, you're like constantly, like, I get that.
I mean, yeah, you're trying to play a sport and throw a ball and do all of this stuff while also not drowning. So there's that,
yeah, right?
Yeah. There's a chance that not living through this game.
Do you know how funny it is? Like, whenever I think of water polo, and again, we're getting so far off the rails here, but whatever. When I think of water polo, I think of like guys like fucking nukes for legs and then tiny little bodies, just because they're like constantly kicking. But I'm sure that those are probably the players, like water polo guys are probably guys that you could probably put in football pads and probably fuck some people up. Like, it's just realistically, if you think about it, because they have that constant debate: can NBA players play in the NFL? Can NFL players play in the NBA? I think it's more transition for NFL to play in the NBA.
We know the NBA can't play in baseball, but
no.
But they can play golf.
I mean,
they can play golf.
There's some football players could play baseball. I will say that. There's a lot of football players that are really good at baseball. Bo Jackson, Kyler Murray was really good. Russell Wilson was really good. Patrick Mahomes was really good.
Yeah.
So like you had a lot of football players
Jameis
that
Winston.
play baseball. Jameis Winston. Yeah. I mean, so it's like you think about football. So this is how we're going to kick football off, and we're going to talk about NCAA. But this is how we're going to
talk about football. Okay, hang on.
God, no, he's got to change his hat, man. Just took the camera off, guys. Man, what are we going to do with this dude? I hope he's not pulling out his lucky fucking underwear. That's what I hope he's not doing.
No, those are still on. I haven't taken those off yet. I can't take those off until
Have you
December.
Even watched them? You got some?
No, dude. That's how you take. That's how you
on?
take the. No. That kills the whole. That kills the whole lucky underwear.
That's going to be ranked by the end of the year, the way Florida State's been playing. So,
all right.
So the one question: what sport that do you think could translate from the sport that they play into football? Period. Not baseball.
Rugby.
Not basketball. Rugby or water polo. That's for me. Rugby or water polo. Rugby is almost like football with no pads. Like, you are like decleating people. Like, have you seen some of those videos where they put like rugby hits? And I'm like, oh my God, these dudes are getting knocked the fuck out, like straight up. And then waking up, like, there's no concussion protocol. They're like, get the fuck back out there. They're like, okay. And like blood is just streaming from their ears and
eyes
nose.
crossed completely,
Yeah.
This ear's hanging on over here, just kind of hanging. It's not
and
even.
then you got rugby players that are like chugging beer, and you're like, Jesus Christ, these guys like don't give a shit about anything.
Well, I mean, look at Jordan Mailata.
Yeah,
I mean, an absolute rugby stud. I mean,
yeah,
phenomenal rugby player. Comes and plays football. And guys, I don't have the clips. Go look it up. Go look at Jordan Mailata talking about how different the NFL is, American football is, from rugby. He even talks about how, rugby is a bloodbath and it's a rough sport and everything, but the NFL's tough. It's rough to play in. But I mean, he's even, there's so many people that talk about how, the tush push is a rugby play, and he's called people some dumbasses for that. He's like, that is 1000% not a rugby play. That's not a scrum. That's not how that works. That is completely different. He had to learn a whole different play style in order just to do the tush push. But anyways,
I will say this: rugby is a really cool sport to watch. I don't fucking understand anything that happens in rugby.
It's like watching cricket.
Not one fucking minute. Like, I can watch soccer and understand soccer enough because I played it and like I get the premise of it. But rugby or cricket, I'm just sitting here. I'm like, what the fuck? If I had to go to like another country and watch this, they would get mad at me because I would not understand anything. I'm like, hey, you're going to have to teach me this like I'm a kindergartner. because I
mean,
don't
let's just be
understand what's
real.
happening.
There's some weird shit out there. Okay, like
countries that came up with like weird sports. Yeah,
like
100% agree.
like that bowls thing where they roll the ball, but it's not even like a normal ball. It's kind of like oblonged and weird, and they have to roll it. And it's like croquet, but you're throwing the ball. It's almost like watching what's the ice or the
curling
Winter Olympics curl. It's almost like curling, but you don't have anybody out there sweeping or anything. You're rolling a ball, and you have to hit another ball kind of down at the end, and you want to get close to. It's like, who the fuck came up with this shit?
Curling is shuffleboard on ice. That's what curling is,
dude. I'll give you guys a story. So probably about 10 years ago, my brother and I, we were watching. We'll go back to like being 16. My brother and I used to go and run pool halls. My brother is a phenomenal.
By the way, guys, this is the first time I'm knowing that Daniel has a brother. Okay, perfect.
I have a couple of them, but anyways.
Oh, right.
He was phenomenal at pool. So at 16, we used to go and play, run the pool halls and stuff like that. I used to go to the bars and play pool all the time. I was a pool shark. So we were watching the Winter Olympics. And this was like the first time we'd ever really watched it. And we're watching curling, and we were obsessed with curling. And us being the drunken individuals we were, when I was 22, 23, we're literally at the bar watching curling and playing pool and taking, the brushes that they use to like sweep the pool table.
And oh my God, we were sweeping the pool table like curling?
Pool tables?
Can't take this dude anywhere.
No. They didn't like us very much after that, but it was fun for us.
I wonder why.
There's a video of it flowing out there somewhere.
It's like, I'm just fortunate enough that, I understand a lot of sports, like, and even though I don't have to watch them all the time, like I understand them. Like I understand basketball. I don't watch NBA a lot, but I understand the NBA. I understand who's good, which teams are good, which teams are up and coming. Like I get that. Like
played a lot.
I played the Luka Doncic thing. Like I went on a rant for like months about that. I was like, what the fuck is Dallas doing? And then I understand now why. Like they went and got that kid from fucking Duke. So I get it. I get it, but you also gave Luka Doncic to fucking.
I've played a lot of sports. I mean, I played baseball and football and basketball and all that shit, but I loved playing volleyball. I played tennis, played racquetball, my God, so much. But I think one of the coolest things that I think I've ever watched was watching harness racing.
The fuck is harness racing?
It's horse racing, but it's where the guys sit in the little
Are they
carts.
in the buggies?
They're in the
buggies?
Yeah, that is the coolest, like the most fun thing to watch. Now, obviously, betting on that shit's even more fun, especially if it's the county fair or whatever the fuck, like it used to be when I was going back to Illinois to my mom's county or whatever. But anyways, like it's cool shit. But harness racing, dude, they're trotting around the track, and you're betting on horses trotting, and these guys in this little cart going, slowly around this fucking track. But it's so fun to watch. But anyways, dumb shit, but it is what it is.
So hold on, have you ever seen like a polo match? I'm not talking water polo. I'm talking polo.
Yeah,
I'm talking
polo.
Like horse and racket things. What happens? Well, lacrosse is kind of a sport. Like lacrosse, like that's how is lacrosse not a sport? What, guys? I don't agree with that. I think lacrosse is fucking awesome. Like
I can't stand it.
I think lacrosse is great. Like, I mean, how is lacrosse not a sport? Like, you are literally throwing a ball in a net. How is that any different than fucking basketball? How is it any different from basketball?
It's no.
Or soccer.
It's a Native American recreation. Okay, that's all lacrosse is.
Native American is not lacrosse. They're like bows and arrows and tomahawk throws.
No. Go do your history search there, buddy.
You got to be shitting me. Oh, are you talking like Mayans? Like whenever they used to use like their hip and like fucking hit that ball? And
no,
like
that's where basketball came from. We just we stole that shit.
We're gonna get banned from TikTok.
Lacrosse literally is a Native American sport, though, or sport. It was their recreation. That was their little thing that they did to pass time. But anyways,
okay. I mean,
when they weren't hunting and fishing and gathering and
we're not gonna go there. I'm gonna stop you. Do not go where I think you're gonna go. No, but polo. Like I'm talking like whenever they hit the ball, the little mallet. Like what happens if it like drills the horse or like what happens? Does the horse like rear and then like just like kick
No,
him
you want to
off,
know a
or-
real
or what?
sport? You want to know a real proper sport? Fox hunting. Back in the day.
Fuck. Oh my god.
No, polo. I mean, dude, could you imagine?
That is the
So,
laziest
listen.
fucking sport ever. Like, send the fucking dogs, and then the dogs.
Hey, they chased them on horses. No, anyways, think about it though.
I guess
Like
they
to
do.
your point,
Like,
to
so
your point, right?
modern age cavalry. Like we're not over
With
the American
dogs.
British War. Okay, all right.
We're sending
Bring in the
corgis out
cavalry on
after.
horses.
We're sending corgis out after a fox and
Instead
chasing
of
it.
instead of people, we're hunting foxes. Okay, all right. Jesus Christ.
Anyways,
we
to
didn't
your
learn
point,
anything
though,
about the Revolutionary War. But
you look at horse racing, right? You know, a horse goes down, gets injured, whatever. What happens to the horse? It goes to Elmer's.
gets shot
Okay.
normally.
Yeah,
like,
it goes to Elmer's. Okay,
you don't really shoot them.
it's either in dog food or in a glue factory, or they use it to make like violin
Sorry,
strings. But
PETA.
anyways,
I'm sorry, Peter.
violin bowstrings.
We're only
If you didn't know
speaking
that.
truth.
But anyways, outside of that, you know, so you look at polo. Yeah, what happens? You whack that ball so hard you kneecap your horse. Like,
Think about that. Like how funny. I'm sorry, it's not funny, but kind of funny. It is funny. How funny would it be? It's like you hit that ball and it kneecaps the horse, and the horse just goes plunk, and like
yeah,
you
but
face
okay,
first
whoa,
into the
whoa.
ground. Like
Even better. My God, new movie idea, guys. We had Goon, right? Can we have a polo Goon where the guy, it's the enforcer for the polo team, comes out, and he's on his horse and he's whacking that ball trying to knock guys off of a horse.
okay, we're playing fucking Quidditch now. Like that's exactly what.
No,
we're
no, no,
fucking
that's
playing.
a
I'm pretty sure they
broomstick.
already made. Same fucking thing. Same thing. Same shit. All right, we're
We're
way
way
off
off
the
track.
rails here. We're way off. Okay. Anyways, all
Flip it.
right.
That's
So-
gonna be the start. That whole conversation is gonna be the start of this YouTube video.
It will. It will. I'm gonna put
What
it in
happens
there.
to horses that get wounded at the racetrack? They become glue, and that's the intro right there.
The last thing I want to know is like, do they use all male horses so that they're not wanting to hump the female if they're using female? Like, do they put this in like where they're not in heat? I don't know. Okay, we're done. We're done. We're done. That- I mean, seriously, think about it. Like, how do you keep a horse from fucking another horse? I don't know. Have you seen
Never
how big
mind.
these fucking horses are?
Let's go. We can
Jesus
move on.
Christ! Like you got to think like they're animals, right? They have needs too, I guess. You know. Okay. Anyways, so we're gonna talk about NCAA football. Okay. So we just wrapped up week 4 in the NCAA. A
Holy
lot to
fuck.
go over. Daniel and I, not last week, but the week before, released our pre-top 25. And yet again, the AP does it one more time. It's to this point where I look at the AP 25 and I can't even take them fucking serious anymore. Like they got a 1-2 Notre Dame team still sitting there. They have a fucking Indiana team that, you know, just absolutely, or I'm sorry, an Illinois team that just absolutely got embarrassed by Indiana. And so it's like at this point, college football is just all about clicks and viewership and money and just something that we can sit here and bitch about and look at what we're doing. We're bitching
I told
about it.
you.
So
I
it's
told
obviously
you.
working. So
College
it's-
football rankings are subjective. It is all
It
subjective.
is. It is
not.
so fucking subjective.
There is nothing but bias. There is nothing but that subjectivity. It's all about how I perceive a team plays and how I perceive their win value and how I perceive everything to be versus the next guy and the next guy and the next guy. And then all of that data gets put together and then we shake out rankings based off of where I placed everybody.
Yep.
But
I mean,
again, it's good go and watch every game that was played this past weekend. He could go watch every single minute of every one of those games, which by the way, how the hell can I gauge how a team is if I haven't actually seen how it all works out? I could look at it on paper. I could look at the stats on paper, but how does that actually translate, right? So that's a lot of games to watch. So let's just say, hypothetically, Alex could watch all of those games and manage to take enough notes and shake out a top 25 based on how he ranks how everybody played, the quality of victory versus the team that they played and who those teams have played and all of this other shit, all the data that you're supposed to have, right? And that's how he perceives it. And I watched every one of those same games. I did the same exact thing. Our top 25 is never going to be the same. My perception is different than his perception. We showed that 2 weeks ago. I can look at all the stats, just the paper, not watching any of these games, just the paper trail, and put a top 25 together that to many of y'all looks the most ludicrous you could ever think of. And it is. It's laughable because it was just my perception based on paper of what happened right then and there in the last 2 games. What data do we have? I didn't look at strength of schedule. I didn't look at any data on like the players or how they played or what the other games were that they played and how those teams have played. I didn't look at any of that. I just took face value. And I even put my own bias in it. I put, the SEC bias, the SEC's got to be the best and blah, blah, blah. I put all of that shit together and I made a top 25 that could be plausible. But at the end of the day, doesn't matter. And Alex can do the same exact thing. His entire one was completely different than mine. He looked at strength of schedule. He looked at all this other data and then also took an effect, how they've played so far. And he shook out a pretty good top 25. I could get behind it. But guys, if you have people doing this shit, and we were talking about this with the refs and all this other stuff, human error is a fucking problem. And a ranking system without data, without true objectivity, sucks ass, does not work. And I will die on this hill. I will rant about this every fucking week until this shit gets changed. It is stupid. You should not just get a ranking because you're a fucking SEC school and somebody says you have a strong strength of schedule. Strength of schedule is week to week. Look at fucking Florida. They're an SEC school, and the first couple games of the year, they're like, they're an SEC school. They're going to have a strong team, a strong strength of schedule. They fucking suck ass. So no victory over Florida is ever going to count, should never count as a quality victory because they fucking suck. They just do. Clemson lost to Syracuse, a team who has no identity, Syracuse is not a great team. They're just not. Love Fran Brown, love the team that they put together, but they are not a quality victory. They're just not. They haven't been for several years. And then Clemson loses to them. Clemson's not had a great year. They don't have a great season.
Go. You ready for this?
I'm getting heated.
I think you'll find this interesting. Clemson entered the preseason at number 4.
Mm-hmm.
Again, this is the glorified AP poll, right? Number 4. They are 1-3. The last time Clemson was 1-3, Miami was entering their first season in the ACC. And that's the team that the AP had at number 4 because they were very subjective, because it was Clemson and they made the college football playoffs last year and all this other shit. And I rode this train last year and I said, Clemson is not good enough to make the college football playoffs. If you put them in and you snub other teams, all you're doing is you're setting yourself up for fucking failure next year. And sure enough, look what happened. Look what happened. Like, you're 1-3. And they also had a Clemson that had just lost LSU ranked. They had a Clemson team that had just lost, I believe it was like SMU or something, ranked still at 0-2. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah. So, I mean, Clemson so far has lost to LSU. They beat Troy barely. 27-16 beat fucking Troy. They've lost to Georgia Tech 24-21. And they lost to fucking Syracuse 34-21. Clemson, I don't give a fuck if Dabo Swinney's their fucking coach. That doesn't fucking matter. Their team sucks. So therefore, a victory over Clemson does not count as a quality victory. I don't give a shit if the rest of their schedule is full of nothing but Big 12 and SEC schools. It's not, but let's say it was. Doesn't matter. Clemson is not a quality victory. Florida is not a quality victory. They don't have a good roster. They don't have a good identity. They don't have a good team. So therefore, regardless of the conference they're in, regardless who the coach is, regardless who their players are, they're not a quality victory. So a strength of schedule is bullshit. Looking at a strength of schedule before the season starts is bullshit. And it's showing that we're going into week 5 and the teams that are losing right now should not be fucking losing based on what the AP and the strength of schedule and all this bullshit that's been pushed out there. Should not happen. But it is. Why? Because they're fucking wrong. They're just wrong.
Here you go. Here's the other thing that they're wrong about. So preseason, back to August, okay, before the season ever started, All right. We're talking like July, August, lead up to the season. We had quarterbacks that were ranked like, oh man, these guys are studs. They're going to lead every quarterback room, blah, blah, blah. I'm talking Arch Manning. I'm talking Cabe Klubnik. I'm talking Drew Allier. I'm talking DJ Lagway. None of those are in the top 50 in QBR right now. The closest one is Arch Manning at 75. I understand that it's early. I get it. But these are guys that were like front runners for the Heisman. And another thing, we might as well just fucking take the Heisman just like the NFL MVP and just make it a fucking quarterback accolade. Like, because that's what it seems like it always is. It's like you could have the best wide receiver year possible, but your quarterback may win that Heisman. Like, it's crazy that it's like, oh, well, yeah, we'll just make this a a 5-headed race against all quarterbacks. And it's like, what the fuck? Why am I even out here then? Like, what the fuck?
I have always said that the Heisman should be what it truly is supposed to be, the best college football player.
Yep.
Okay, there are awards for quarterbacks, for running backs, for all of that shit. Go win that. But if I am a defensive back or whatever, and I have outperformed what in my position so recognizably over everybody else, because let's think about it, we've had some insane defensive players come through that just outshine. I mean, there is nobody that's anywhere near them, right? When you talk about that team, you talk about that defensive player, you're not talking about the quarterback. And they could have a great quarterback and running back or whatever. I think they all should have that same nod. Just should. And it should come down to a voting of that and not be of a quarterback, because again, a quarterback can be great if they play shitty fucking teams.
Yep.
A quarterback is only as good as his fucking wide receivers. So if I have literally this insane Randy Moss-esque fucking wide receiver, you're damn right my quarterback's going to do fucking great. If I have a team made up of those same wide receivers, it's an automatic. So go win the QB award for having those stats. But if I'm a player that is outperformed where I shouldn't be, right? I have just stood head and shoulders above everybody because of my individual merits. And they should stop looking at yardage so much. They should start looking at, like, how are you doing for quarterbacks, like in the pressure, right? Are you able to get it? You're getting out of the pocket. You're having a better game in general, not just your yardage, not just your touchdowns. You're having a better game in general than everybody else. For running backs, it's not, oh, those big runs that you get. It's, how are you doing blasting through people and managing to get those yards and taking multiple carries and constantly just working it, right? It needs to be more objective. Again, college football needs to be objective. It's not. We have a problem with that. Yeah, the Heisman has just been so skewed for so long now because you just get all these great yards and whoop do you fucking do. They don't mean shit. Like at all.
So, like, the Heisman almost solidifies you as a first-round draft pick, right? Okay. Like, it almost solidifies you. Do you know that the last time a Heisman winner went beyond the first round? Charlie Ward.
Yep. Isn't that fucking
94.
wild? We're talking about Charlie fucking Ward.
Like, like that's, he won it in 93 and he like was drafted in the first round of the NBA draft in 94 and not in the NFL due to like uncertainties and other thing about professional football. And so he chose to play NBA instead. So up until that point, so 95, 96, 97, like you win the Heisman, you immediately go in the first round. Immediately. But the fact is like you have quarterbacks that are winning these Heisman and they go in the league and they fucking are ass. Like they are not good.
By the way, did you know Charlie Ward is FAMU's basketball coach?
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Like we have to be more selective when we talk about Heisman winnings and everything about like it truly should be for the best collegiate player on the football field for that year, regardless of your position. Regardless. And yes, I know that makes it hard for like offensive linemen to win it, defensive linemen to win it. I know the game is won within the trenches, right? That's just, you don't get the pretty accolades. You don't get the, the game-winning touchdown. People don't see maybe the block that you had on the edge, maybe the, strip sack that you had, a quarter ago to give you this opportunity. Like there's other things that play into it. Like I get it. And you're only as good as how your other guys play. But the Heisman is meant for the best collegiate player throughout the whole entire year. It's not meant for who's the best fucking quarterback over a 12-game year. Like, that's not how it should be. Like, who was the last Heisman winner that was not a quarterback? I know it was recent. I know. Or maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was like
Travis
AP.
Hunter. Travis Hunter was a cornerback.
Travis Hunter.
Receiver.
Yeah. So, okay. So, Travis
then before
Hunter.
that was 2020, Devontae Smith.
Okay.
Then
so
before that was
Smith.
Derrick Henry in 15.
Okay. So, that's...
09 was Mark Ingram.
So over the course from 2000
Reggie Bush
to now,
in 05, like it's all been running backs consistently.
Okay.
You had 97, you had a cornerback, that was Charles Woodson.
So let's do the last 24. Go to all Heisman from 2000 to 2024 last year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, be 2024. So the last 24 Heismans, how many were not quarterback?
5.
So 19 were quarterback.
You want to talk through some of these too? Let's
I do.
talk about this,
Okay?
I
want to know who these Heisman winners are, and then like that are quarterbacks.
2000 was Chris Winkie.
The fuck?
Yep. Eric Crouch from Nebraska was 2001. Carson Palmer, 2002.
Good career.
Jason White, 2003, Oklahoma. Matt Leinart, 2004.
Jason White couldn't stay healthy. Like, no. I'm surprised he won,
yeah.
But remember he wore those 2 knee braces like all the fucking time. Yeah. Like just couldn't stay healthy. I'm pretty sure. Did he go to like Cleveland? Didn't he go get drafted Cleveland? Or was it Cincinnati? It was either Cleveland or Cincinnati. It was one of those two. I'm pretty sure he went Cleveland.
No, he wasn't drafted. He retired from football in 2005 because of his injury history. He didn't get drafted.
Oh, he didn't get drafted? Oh, okay. All right. I thought okay.
Matt Leinart, 2004.
Not horrible.
05, career. You had Reggie Bush. So 06 was Troy Smith.
Great career.
Troy Smith, 06. Tebow, 07.
I mean, okay. Like, was okay.
Sam Bradford, 2008.
Horrible.
Yeah. Mark Ingram was 09.
Good career.
Okay. Cam Newton. I feel like he got put in a bad system. He got put in a bad system.
Ups and downs. I mean, Carolina went to the Super Bowl. Like, he had his opportunities, and,
2011 was RG3.
Career cut short. Had so much potential. Just rushed him back too soon from that injury.
Yep. 2012, the infamous Johnny Manziel. Mr. Johnny Football. Not a fucking thing. 13 was Winston. 14, another laughingstock in the NFL. 15 was Henry. 16, Lamar Jackson. Now we start getting to ones that actually are doing well. Lamar Jackson, good career, doing pretty well. 17 was Baker Mayfield. That was a rough start for that kid.
Yeah, Cleveland. You know what I mean? It's Cleveland.
Yeah. But looks pretty good. He's doing pretty good. Kyler Murray in 2018. Joe Burrow in 19. We got Bryce Young 2021. Caleb Williams 2022. Jaden Daniels 2023.
Bryce Young, no. Bryce Young's bad. Caleb Williams bad.
Yeah.
So it's like all those guys outside of a couple that either just didn't go in, like, did you say Carson Beck? Not Carson Beck, but the dude from Georgia, like the one that they won. He didn't win the Heisman, right? No. Okay. All right. So
no, remember he was injured all last year.
No, not no. Who am I thinking of? He didn't win the Heisman. God, who the fuck am I thinking of?
I don't know.
Shit, I can't.
Your brain's kind of fucked up.
My brain's fried. I'm still thinking about Polo
and those poor horses.
Those poor damn horses.
Poor horses.
So like, it's crazy that you look at all these Heisman winners, and all of them have gone in the first round, and all of them have amounted to shit. Like Cam Ward, like I know he's he's gonna have some growing pains this year. Like, I understand he didn't win the Heisman. Travis Hunter did. I get it. Cam Ward went the first overall pick because, well, Tennessee needed a quarterback. But then you had Travis Hunter that literally went, what, pick two to Jacksonville, right? So you have these Heisman winners that go high first rounds, and you put them on this pedestal like, oh yeah, they won the Heisman, and they should be really good in the NFL, right? Well, again, you're subjectively thinking that, and you are going, oh yeah, because the AP told them that they're really good. They got these votes. They won the Heisman. Their teams, blah blah blah, went to national titles. They played in the SEC, the Big Ten, blah blah blah. But it's crazy that when you think about it, it's the fucking guys that are in the league that fought, that put time, effort, energy into everything that they do, that are now the studs of the NFL. And you have guys that are like wide receivers that had great college careers that get snubbed because we give the Heisman to who was the best quarterback that year. Because whenever you have only 5 non-quarterback that have won the Heisman in the last 24 years, there is a fucking problem. Like this year, who do you give the Heisman to? Because all your front runners are dead. Like their QBR sucks. Yeah, they may be on good teams, but the only reason why they're on good teams is because their other team, like their team is playing good. So like, I would tell you this, like anybody that thinks that Florida State isn't back should be put on notice. Like they have some fucking dogs over there, and I would not be surprised if a Florida State guy wins it. I wouldn't even be surprised if a fucking Missouri dude wins it. Like Missouri is really fucking good at rushing. Like Ahmad Hardy is unbelievable. Unbelievable. So there's a lot of guys out there that probably are going to get overlooked. And I would say if this year we don't have a non-quarterback win it like we did last year with Travis Hunter, because Travis Hunter deserved it. Like he had a fucking stud year.
Yeah.
And that was with Colorado, and his team was not that great.
Yeah.
Exactly. And if we have a quarterback that wins it this year because they're like, oh, they weren't a Heisman favorite, but they played as a Heisman favorite, but then you have all these other running backs and wide receivers that are fucking having amazing years. Like, what's his name? Smith from Ohio State.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Like that dude is the best wide receiver in football, in college football right now.
No, Mekhi Danzy.
It's because you're Florida State. Like we really have to think about this. Like I almost want to say, like, I think what they should do is they should open the Heisman voting up to the public and let the public and the fans decide. Coaches, everything. Like true honesty. And don't have a committee that sits here and selects who the next Heisman winner should be. I think it should be public.
It's just way too freaking subjective. I want to go back to the rankings a little bit here. And just kind of thinking about this, because we've ranted about this a lot, but we were talking about the AP and just kind of how fucked up it is. Why are we doing the AP 25 every week when we don't even do the college playoff rankings until November? Like we literally wait till like the last half of the season before we even start looking at like where do teams actually shake out. Like why do we have to do that? I mean, look at the NFL. The NFL's not ranking players all year or teams all year round. They don't do that shit until you get down to the end of the year. And then we take all the data and we compile it all together and we look at how you played versus the teams that you played and how they played and how did your players play and all of this fucking shit, all the data, and objectively feed it through the machine and it tells me, hey, you should be number one. So why are we not doing that in college? Like, hey, we're paying these players as if they're in the fucking pros. We're doing a playoff system, which is still kind of fucked up. They need to figure this shit out. But anyways, why are we not being a little bit smarter with our ranking system here? Because the rankings, this is shitty, because the AP rankings ends up influencing the fucking college football playoff rankings. And that should not fucking happen.
It does.
It really should not fucking happen. There should be no numbers next to any team's name until it is time to take the data, run it through, and we look at it objectively. you did this versus this team. This is how you performed. We've watched footage. We see how you do, how you're playing. We see how all these teams are playing. We've got all of this very objective data. Then we can take that and can confidently say that you should be number 1, number 2, number 3 through 12, and you 12 right now are our playoff. Why are we doing this shit so fucking early? Yeah, I get it. It draws in numbers. It makes it sound great because, oh my God, we got number 4 and number 5 playing this week. We got number 1 Texas playing number 3 Ohio State. Is going to be an epic game. College game day is going to be there. All the fanfare and all that shit, and it's a fucking shit show of a game. It's a fucking letdown. Week in, week fucking out, you get one good ranked game, and that's fucking it. And it's usually not the one that they're promoting.
Well, I mean, look what happened last year, right? For the college football playoff. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I just pulled it back up. All right. So you had Tennessee at Ohio State. You had Clemson at Texas. You had Indiana at Notre Dame. And you had SMU at Penn State. 2 of those teams, I will tell you, aka Clemson and SMU, did not deserve to be in there. Indiana was a very far cry from it, but they actually looked okay against Notre Dame until they weren't. But you look at this, the only reason why they snubbed Ohio State was because Michigan beat them, right? And then Ohio State went on to play in the Big Ten championship and won the Big Ten championship. So they had to go play in the Big Ten championship just to even get in. And if they lost it, they were going to be out. And you're talking about a team that lost to Michigan. And then you're talking about a team that went into a Big Ten championship. And then if they were going to lose that, that means they've only had 2 losses on the year, but yet you added teams in there that had 2 losses on the year. So they lose just their last game or second to last game or whatever Michigan's game is. It's end of November. It's over Thanksgiving. So that doesn't make sense.
No.
Like if they would have lost the Big Ten, like that doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
And so then, but now I look at this and I go, then you had Oregon at 1, and then you also had Ohio State playing Oregon in Oregon, and that was probably the best game of the year, hands down, period. And then you had Ohio State, Texas, and then you got to Ohio State, Notre Dame. And it's just like, you look at this college football playoffs and you're like, all these teams that are in, like the buys that they got, like Arizona State got a bye. Like, what the fuck? Why did they get a bye? They didn't have a better record than Ohio State. Ohio State had a harder schedule than Arizona State did. But yet we're going to give them a bye? Yes, Arizona State beat Iowa State for the Big 12. Congratulations. Iowa State was playing to get in. If they won the Big 12, they got in. Does that snub Arizona State? You know, they're 1 loss or 2 losses on the year. But yet you gave Clemson. You let Clemson in. They lost twice. Yeah, they won the ACC, but they still lost twice. So like, it doesn't fucking make sense. Like, please tell me how it does. And again, I know we're talking all hypothetical, but sometimes you have to live in a hypothetical realm to come with the reality of it. The reality of it is that whenever we go to these college football playoffs and we go to these AP rankings, everything is predicated on another. E25 is predicated on all these, I'm going to feed this through this, give you this, because your record is this. And then this is what your seed should be. I'm sorry, Arizona State last year did not deserve to have a bye.
Fuck.
Ohio State did. Ohio State should have been the 4th seed. But you're going to snub them because they lost to fucking Michigan. But yet they still won the Big Ten. Okay. And then you have Georgia in there at 2.
Give Boise State a bye.
And you give Boise State a bye. Now, they said that they fixed all that. They said that they fixed it this year and like everything. But I have a feeling that they didn't. I have a feeling that it's gonna have the same problem, same issue, and we're gonna have the same fucking issue this year. Because as we look at the AP 25 over the last 4 weeks, it is going down that path. And the only reason why I'm saying that is,
well, go ahead.
No, the only reason why I'm saying that is because Indiana just beat the absolute living shit out of Illinois. Like, embarrassing. And Illinois is now down 9 spots at 23. They're 3-1. I'm sorry. Do you really think Illinois is going to hold ground in the Big Ten? Same with Indiana. Like, I understand Indiana had a good year last year. I get it. But you're also putting them up there with Oregon. You're also putting them up there with Michigan. You're also putting them up there with Ohio State, with Penn State, with even fucking USC now. You've got to be fucking shitting me. If you really think Illinois and Indiana stand a fucking remote chance in the Big Ten. Now, I understand Ohio State realistically hasn't looked that great, but yet they still have an elite defense that can still keep them in games. And whenever you go play at Ohio State, it's a tough place to play. So you really think Ohio State's going to be really scared to go in and play at Indiana or Illinois if they have to play that? No. But yet we're going to keep them up at the ranking at 11 and fucking wherever Illinois, 23. Okay. All right. That makes sense. We're going to keep a Notre Dame team in there that's 1-2. Yeah, I understand they played ranked teams. I get it. But is that the only reason why you're keeping them in there? Because they played ranked teams? Because the previous week they were 24.
They lost to ranked Miami. They lost to ranked Texas A&M, and then they beat Purdue. Fucking nobody.
And yet they moved up 2 spots. They were 24, now they're 22. They moved up 2 spots. And yet Missouri just beat South Carolina, who just lost to Vanderbilt, who Vanderbilt's really fucking good, and Missouri only moved up 3 spots.
I mean, they beat a Purdue team that beat Ball State, Southern Illinois, lost to USC, and then lost to Notre Dame.
And USC is not even ranked. So
yeah, they are. They're ranked 21.
Southern Cal. Sorry, didn't see that.
USC has beat Missouri State, Georgia Southern, Purdue, and Michigan State. That's it. No ranks. Then they play Illinois this weekend.
But yet, so then we have Mississippi State and Auburn. I know Auburn just lost to Oklahoma on a very controversial shit. Like, very controversial. Like, whenever you have the refs that come back and say, but they send an apology letter, like, what the hell? Like, that's sorry guys, my eye is very dry and
very weird.
Everything. So, but like, you don't even have Auburn ranked or Mississippi State ranked. And Auburn played Oklahoma really close. It was a really close game in Norman.
And you move Oklahoma up to 7, who's played and beat Illinois State, Michigan. I can give them the nod on Michigan.
They moved them from 11 to 7, and they moved them ahead of Florida State.
Well, we only have 3 games.
Don't give a shit. You beat the fucking tarnation out of Alabama. Alabama's your baby child, right? Alabama's technically the Kansas City Chiefs of the NFL, right? Of NCAA.
They're the only team that we've played, according to everybody. You know, we played in a Group 5 in an FCS school. Doesn't matter that we've, put up, 200 something points.
Next weekend they'll soon realize. I would say this. They'll soon realize. And I'm not saying that just because Daniel's a Florida State fan. Like, I'm not. I've seen what they play. I've seen how they've played. Like, that is a very scary team to go up against. And the fact is that Miami is going to roll in there next week for the Saturday night game. And that is going to be a very electric crowd, especially against Miami. So then what are you going to do? Miami rolls in at 2. Let's assume that both of them win. Okay. So Miami sticks at 2. Florida State stays at 8 because you're going to assume Oklahoma, Oregon, LSU, Penn State. And the only reason why I didn't say Georgia is because Georgia and Alabama are playing this weekend. But it's in Georgia. But Alabama has beat Georgia.
Yeah, Miami's off this week. Miami's not playing. They have a break.
Okay, so they're going to stick at number 2. They're not going to move. So let's say Florida State stays at 8. Okay. So if Miami loses to Florida State in Florida State and they get fucking blown out, all right, they're a top 10 team. So your technical caliber and where you're held accountable is a lot higher because you are the number 2 team in the country. But if you lose to a number 8, but you are on the road and you get blown out, I understand don't drop you out of the rankings. I get you. But don't keep them in the fucking top 10. especially if you have Texas A&M, Texas, Oklahoma, Oregon, Georgia, LSU, Penn State, and Ohio State that win. Why is it that you feel the necessary because they were 2 to drop them to like say 9, and that snubs Texas A&M, but yet they're undefeated, and maybe Texas A&M played a ranked team and still beat them that
But
week?
then where do you put FSU after they beat the number 8 Bama and then beat number 2 Miami?
I think you slide them up 4 spots to number 4, and you slide everybody else up, depending on the win. If you beat a number 2 team at your own home, and let's say LSU, Georgia, Oregon, and Oklahoma all play good, but they only win by 10, 17 points.
LSU has Ole Miss this week, ranked game. Penn State's playing fucking Oregon. That's going to be Penn State's not winning that. Oregon's winning that game. Let's just be real.
100%. I mean, I understand that it's at Penn State, but Oregon is a fuck. I don't know if you've seen
Georgia
Oregon
plays
play.
Alabama.
They are really good.
Georgia will win. So I think that Georgia, Oregon, and LSU will win. So yeah, definitely move up there. Oklahoma, they play Kent State this week.
So that moves LSU up to 3. That moves probably Penn State because they lose to
Here's a
6.
fun one for you. Let's play another hypothetical, okay? Oklahoma beat Illinois State. They beat Michigan, right? Ranked Michigan. They beat Temple, and then they just beat ranked Auburn. Okay.
And Michigan was at home though. Like that's the thing. Like Michigan's at home. Like if that game was on the road in Michigan in the big house, I think Oklahoma still loses. I think
Oklahoma is on a bye week this week. So if Florida wins, so Florida State plays Virginia tomorrow night. Okay. What happens if Florida State beats
they should technically move? They should move ahead of Oklahoma. Oklahoma should move down, but they won't do it because you never move somebody down that has a play. So Florida State's going to stay locked at 8.
So then next week,
do that.
Okay. So let's say that. So let's say they stay the same. Okay. Next week, Oklahoma plays Kent State, who we just beat the fucking brakes off of. Okay. What if Oklahoma doesn't put up as strong of a performance against Kent State?
You move them down.
And FSU beats the shit out of Miami.
You move them down.
You know what the NCAA is going to do? You know what the AP is going to do?
Yeah, I know. I know exactly what they're going to do.
All right. Anyways.
I know exactly what they're going to do. They're going to say, oh, win is win, so you still stay there and you move up. No, that's not how it goes. Like, if you're Oklahoma and you only win by 20 to Kent State and Florida State beats the rails off of Miami, you move Florida State above Oklahoma. Because both of them were at home. One was against a non-ranked team that you're supposed to blow the fuck out of the water. And the other one was against a top 2 team, and you win by 20 points. Say the point differential is the exact same. You win by 20, they win by 20. What carries more weight? It's not Kent State, but yet you're both undefeated. You can't subjectively go, oh, well, because they won, they still have the right to stay there.
Okay,
no.
But then to my point that I made earlier, I say Florida's not a quality victory. I say Florida is not a quality victory.
It's not.
It's not a quality win. So how does... No. So, if we beat Miami by 20 points, and we look at the data, can we say that us beating Miami, who has beat a shit Notre Dame team, a shit South Florida team, and a Florida team that is absolute trash, that they still only beat them 26-7?
But that South Florida game is going to carry weight because of what their record was at that time and who they beat the previous week.
Should it? This is the point.
No,
it shouldn't, guys. It should fucking matter. It's so stupid. It's so fucking stupid.
It's college football has just become a fucking circus. Like, I love watching college football just for the sheer sport of it, but I hate fucking hearing all these sports analysts that are like, I got my fucking journalism masters and PhD and all this shit and sports analytics, and I know all this and I know all that. But you don't know fucking shit. Like, you don't. Because you are so up a network's ass that you can't see the fucking front door in front of you. And the problem is like, whenever you have true fans that truly do watch the game, that truly do give credit to teams where they deserve it. Like I said before, I will give credit to a 2-2 team that play 3 ranked games and maybe they lose 2 of those, but they're close and one was on the road and one was at home. Okay, I'll give you credit. It's until you go into somebody's house that's not ranked and you get embarrassed. Then I won't. I really won't.
Well, let's look through some of the games this weekend. Like I said, obviously we play Virginia tomorrow night. That's gonna be a fun one. TCU has Arizona State tomorrow as well. Saturday we kick off.
And that game right there is gonna be close because Arizona State is good.
Yeah,
but
it's at home.
But it is so it. But TCU they're giving TCU a rank of 24, but who the fuck has TCU played?
Yeah. Like North Carolina.
Nope.
They beat North Carolina. They beat Abilene
North
Christian.
Carolina.
They beat SMU. I mean, they gave Bill Belichick his first ever NCAA loss. So, I mean, that's a big thing.
Who has Arizona State played?
They have played Northern Arizona, Mississippi State, which they lost 24-20, close game.
Mm-hmm. It was in Mississippi State, too.
Yeah, Texas State, and they beat Baylor. Another close game,
24-20. State score on, literally the last play.
Yeah. And then they just beat Baylor 27-24.
And Baylor's not bad. Baylor was up there getting votes. So
it's going to be a fun one to watch. It's going to be a good game. It's going to be a fun one to watch.
But here's the thing. Let's say Arizona State wins, which I hope they do. Go Shockers. Arizona State wins, and TCU's at 24. Does that automatically bid Arizona State to 24?
I would think so. I think it should.
Well, hold on. Let's say they only win by 3. Does that still allow TCU to remain? Because, again, they're unbeaten, and Arizona State has lost 1. And TCU went to Arizona State and only lost by 3.
Yeah, see, in my mind, though, that puts them above BYU. I mean, they played Portland State, Stanford, and Eastern Carolina. They play Colorado this weekend. So even if BYU wins, they don't have a quality victory. So I'm going to say that, yeah, it would be an automatic bid to at least the 24 spot.
And that moves TCU down, so then you snub BYU. That's how it should go.
That moves TCU out of the top.
No.
If BYU wins and they're still undefeated, I would still hold them in there, even because they're beating Colorado.
I wouldn't put BYU in there because, again, I'm looking at the quality of the game, the quality of the team that you played.
Either.
Let's be real. So basically what this does is that puts TCU at 25. I would just move them down 1 because they played Arizona State, who's getting votes, right? Who's got 30 votes to be in the top 25, and that puts Arizona State at 24. So it moves TCU down, puts Arizona State in, but kicks BYU out. I don't give a shit if BYU's undefeated. I don't care.
In reality, we should be pulling. Let's see, Vanderbilt shouldn't be up there. Well, I don't know, man. They beat the brakes off of South Carolina.
It seems like you need 131 votes to be in.
I would say that 22 down should be taken out. Notre Dame, Illinois, TCU, and BYU shouldn't be in there. And you should have Auburn, Mississippi State. I would still leave. I would put Utah. But
Notre Dame was in the college football playoffs last year, man, and they played
Auburn. I put Auburn, Mississippi State,
2 ranked teams.
I would put Utah, and I'd put Arizona State up there. Those would be the 4 that I would put in to take that spot from 22 down to 23 to 25.
And look, even South Florida received 77 votes, and they just lose. Didn't they just lose?
Yeah.
But yet we're still receiving votes.
Oh man! All right, back to the games this week. Saturday we kick off with Georgia Tech, Wake Forest. USC, Illinois. That's going to be an interesting one just to see how shitty both teams are.
I really don't want USC to win, so I'm going to pull for Illinois.
I want USC to win because I want them to be ranked well when they beat the shit out of Notre Dame in 2 weeks. That's just me.
I mean, I don't really care about either of those teams.
They can suck after that. I don't really care. I just want Notre Dame plays Arkansas, which honestly, Arkansas could win that one. Vanderbilt, Utah State. Let's go Utah State.
Arkansas's defense is horrible. Horrible.
Yeah, but Notre Dame's team is horrible.
I know.
Ohio State, Washington. In Washington.
No, that won't matter.
LSU, Ole Miss. That's going to be a good one to watch.
Yeah.
We have Auburn, Texas A&M. Let's go Auburn.
That'll be good. That will be good.
Indiana, Iowa.
I think Auburn's going to be a little pissed. I wouldn't be surprised if Texas A&M loses.
Oh yeah,
I wouldn't.
Indiana and Iowa in Iowa City. That's going to be interesting to see. Especially, I mean,
a team that can't throw a fucking ball.
True.
So yeah,
Indiana
that you would expect to be up there in the top running back
last week. Tennessee, Mississippi State. That's another good one. Mississippi State's undefeated.
I think Mississippi State takes that. I think they beat Tennessee.
God, I hope so. Arizona and Iowa State.
Iowa State.
Oregon and Penn State. That's going to be a barn burner. Oregon's going to go back to running up 77.
Oregon's going to put
points.
up like fucking 56 points and only allow like 17.
Yeah. Alabama, Georgia. No, Georgia.
However, it is the whiteout game, though. It is the whiteout game.
It is the whiteout game.
It's going
to be fun to watch. Alabama, Georgia. I think Georgia's going to walk away.
How crazy would it be is if they wear white? Is Penn State wearing white? All white, right? Is Penn State wearing white?
I don't think so.
Does Penn State wear white on whiteout games? I thought they do. Or no, they don't. So hold on. What about if Oregon comes out and they're all white fucking uniforms? Like white and chrome?
I would love
like,
that.
Right? You would think Penn State goes all white, right? It's a fucking whiteout game. White helmets, white jerseys, white pants, white shoes.
They don't have whiteout jerseys for their whiteout games. The home crowd wears white. The NCAA prohibits the home team from wearing white away uniforms in a home game. So they wear blue.
Oregon's coming out all white. Oregon's going to come out all white.
Fucking great.
That is going to be so awesome. Even if they add a little bit of green and yellow.
They're not.
Oh, did they release what their uniforms are wearing?
Yeah, they're doing these mummy duck uniforms, and dude, they are sick.
Mummy? They're doing the mummy ones?
The mummy ducks, yeah.
Well, you guys
share
black
that.
And white.
You guys share that black and white uniform combination.
You guys share that. Man, that sounds fucking awesome.
Let's see here. Let's see if I can get us a good look here for everybody.
Yeah, because Oregon has like a fucking new uniform every week. Like, it's crazy. It's just, I mean, they have so many damn combinations. Like, it's just insane.
They always have. It's great.
I mean, it's the perks of your founder is like fucking Nike. So
look at that.
That's dope, though.
Yeah, I think it's gonna look cool.
I've always loved Oregon's uniforms.
Look at this.
Oh my god, that is so fucking cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
Oregon's uniforms are the best in the country. Best in the country, like hands down.
It's gonna be interesting.
Like, yeah,
man. Well, round out the day. Like I said, Alabama, Georgia. I think Georgia's gonna do well with that one. Missouri plays Massachusetts. If fucking Mizzou loses to an 0-3 Massachusetts, I swear to fucking God, it better be burned down. Okay.
They won't.
BYU and Colorado. Fuck Colorado. Fuck Prime. I hope BYU wins that one. And that's all I got to say about that.
Man. All right. Well, we're getting short on time, so that's going to wrap up the NCAA. We're going to finish on some NFL. So we're not going to discuss what transpired last week. I already went on a rant in my solo. Very sad, very emotional.
Seahawks beat the Cardinals, by the way, 23-20.
Yeah, I did. I did see that. I did. I'm pretty sure Cardinals with 33 seconds scored, tied it up, and then went to overtime. So
all I really wanted to talk about this week as far as the NFL, I mean, I'm interested to see how Jackson Dart does. All this shit going on about Russell Wilson and benching his ass, which I think is definitely a play, a good one to go. I'm curious to see how Jackson Dart does. Man, it's going to be interesting this weekend. I think it's going to be fun. I thought it was absolutely hilarious that everybody was ranting and raving about Brady being in the box with the headset on. The dude has absolutely nothing to do with what's going on, but people get over it. The guy has fucking ownership in a team. Let him do his shit.
I mean, what he's not calling down there to give him fucking plays. Like, the dude is an owner of the fucking football team, and he has the obligation and the right to do that. Like, it's okay. If I am Geno Smith or any quarterback for the Las Vegas Raiders, and somebody goes and says, "Hey, Tom Brady's on the headset. He wants to talk to you," I'm fucking listening to him. Like, the dude won 7 Super Bowls. He obviously knows what the fuck he's talking about and doing. But it's not like he's going down there and fucking playing. It's not like he's making the passes. He's probably just telling him, like, hey, on some of your reads, you're going through your read too quick. Or, hey, you got to watch, the Mike linebacker. You got to, like, giving him points, like, to focus on, not telling him, like, hey, we're going to call in plays and you're going to listen to me now. I took over your helmet. That's not how it goes, people. Like, Stop fucking freaking out about it. Stop worrying. Like, who gives a flying shit? Until I see his ass on the sideline with a headset on and a fucking clipboard, then I'll fucking kind of be a little worried.
Yeah,
But
I'd be worried if I'm playing against it.
I mean, other than that, like this past week, there was a shit ton of injuries though. Some big names, big fucking names. Like CeeDee Lamb going down, ankle injury. Don't know when he's coming back. Nick Bosa's out for the year for the Niners. Man, that team just can't catch a fucking break. Year after year after year after year. This dude, like we talked about this early in the year, like before the even season start. We're like, if the 49ers can stay healthy, they might be a sneaky good team. You have Brock Purdy that goes out with like turf toe or whatever he had.
Yeah, that sucks. It hurts my
and
fantasy team.
and then you have Nick Bosa. Like you already lost what's his name? Tight end. I can't think of his name.
Kittle.
Yeah, you already lost Kittle. So and you're already Ayuk is nowhere close to coming back. And then Juwan Jennings has been up and down. So you have Christian McCaffrey and Brian Robinson Jr. But there's a lot of pieces right there that are worrisome for the Niners. I know they're undefeated. I understand that. But losing Nick Bosa, that hurts. James Conner, man, I feel bad. I really do. He that injury looked very, very bad. Like if you saw his face and saw his reaction on the field from last weekend, and I know they just played tonight. Their running game, I haven't seen the stats or anything, but I can't imagine their running game was great. I mean, Marvin Harrison on my fantasy team broke off for like, I think 18, 20 points or something like that. So they must have been throwing the ball quite a bit. Oh, that injury was pretty gruesome. And then, man, Najee Harris, man, fuck, tearing an ACL, or not an ACL, Achilles. I wish that on nobody. Those are really tough injuries to come back from because one, you have to anchor it to that heel, and two, you don't know how well that's going to sustain and how well that's going to hold, how much mobility you're going to have. I mean, you could probably go to everybody that tore an Achilles and ask them, like, what did you have to do to come back? And they're probably going to be like, I still don't feel like I can come back. So, a lot of good players, a lot of injuries. So this is why football is not guaranteed.
They definitely didn't have a good rushing game. I can tell you that.
Arizona,
no. Kyler ran for 41. Trey Benson ran for 35. They only had 89 rushing yards on period.
I mean, Seattle's defense is good, but like
they had 200 yards.
Like it hurts,
but
it's not that great. It's okay.
That's a 23-20 game, so it's not like it was a great game all around. Let's be real.
So it like you got to think whenever we talk about NFL football and we talk about these teams that we project to be favorites and everything, like it goes to show you like they are one injury away from it just crashing and burning. I mean, look at Minnesota, what they fucking just did to Cincinnati. And everyone's going to be like, oh, well, they don't have Joe Burrow. I don't give a shit. You have T. Higgins. You have Jamar Chase. You have, what's his name, the running back Brown or Chase Brown, whatever his name is. And then you have Trey Hendricks. So, I've sit here and I've bitched about Cincinnati. Like, I don't expect a lot from Cincinnati, even if Joe Burrow is healthy, because their defense is just abysmal. Like, it's just awful. Like, I'm surprised Trey signed a 1-year deal with them. I'm surprised he didn't just stick to his laurels and just go, you know what, I'm not fucking signing. I'm going to go get money somewhere. But now it's like, do you pay him that money or do you trade him? I think he's a trade candidate now. I think you gave him that contract for that 1 year, knowing that he's gone next year, knowing that you can't re-sign him, knowing that you have too many defensive problems, and knowing now that you made a fucking mistake by signing Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins to those fucking contracts. You should have traded fucking T. Higgins so that it opened up more place for you to spend on defense. You should have fucking traded him. Tagged and trade. Get draft picks, get the capital away. Because now you have the highest paid offense and no fucking defense. And you're staring at the barrel of a rebuild on defense. And when you go through a rebuild, I'm not talking a full team rebuild. I'm talking a rebuild because you still need a fucking Chase Brown. I'm not talking about a full team rebuild. I'm talking a defensive rebuild. And that takes years. That also takes capital that you don't fucking have. And you're going to lose one of the best defensive ends in football because you decided to play offense first. Whenever we've sat here and said and talked about defense wins championships, you pay defensive guys, you put key offensive players in there, but you still need to pay defense. And you did not do that. Your defense does not scare me. Your offense without Joe Burrow does not scare me. So, like, if we want to talk early trade candidate, 100% right there. And then that leads me into the Minnesota Steelers game that's happening in Dublin.
That's gonna be insane.
It's gonna be insane because Minnesota just throttled Cincinnati, like just beat the living shit out of them, and that's with Carson Wentz. That's not even with JJ McCarthy. Like JJ McCarthy looks like he still has some growing pains, which I knew. And when I talked about it at the beginning, I was like, I can't give Minnesota any type of playoff prop. I just can't. The only teams that I can give a playoff prop to is Green Bay and Detroit, but Green Bay just lost to fucking Cleveland for like just bad game all around. Can't run the ball, don't throw the ball, like all this other shit that just happened. But the game that I'm really interested in is because is Pittsburgh really that good? Like, is Pittsburgh really that good? Because if Baltimore loses, that puts Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, and Cleveland in a very fucking deep hole. And I don't think they're coming out of it because Baltimore has a pretty rough schedule. Is Baltimore in trouble? Like, I know they got a game against Kansas City, and we're not going to talk about that game. But let's say, hypothetically, Baltimore loses to Kansas City. What happens?
They're struggling, which is odd. I mean, you look at the layout that they had last year. I mean, was it really a Cinderella run? Was it really just kind of a one-hit wonder year? I mean, granted, they didn't make it all the way, but you look at just in general where they've been the last couple of years, and then coming into last year, they got Derrick Henry. Flowers is fucking just, I mean, lights out. They were just looking so fucking good. Their defense was stout. And you come into this year, and it's like, what the fuck happened?
Like, fumbles. Derrick Henry fumbling every single game.
Like, why?
But it's also embarrassing that Baltimore lost the way they did week one. They had a 40-25 lead going into the fourth quarter,
and their defense just
fuck it up.
Fell apart. And their defense has consistently every week been a sieve. It's not been a lights out defense. It's not been what we know what they should be.
I picked them as one of the top defenses outside of Denver, but Denver has even looked pretty shitty. Like, yeah, I was not expecting the Chargers to look the way that they do. I was not expecting Pittsburgh to look the way that they do. I was expecting more from Houston, and they don't look any remotely like the team they were last year. And then all of a sudden you have, Indianapolis that's like, what the fuck with Daniel Jones?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like you have these teams that we sit here and we talk about, and we're like, oh, they're going to have this great season. And you listen to all these analysts and you listen to all these people. And the one thing that I take away from that Baltimore-Buffalo game and that Baltimore game that just happened Monday night against Detroit, Baltimore looks gettable this year. They like, besides offensively, if you shut down Derrick Henry and you pressure Lamar Jackson, I'm pretty sure Detroit just gave you the script on how to beat Baltimore. Like, I'm almost certain that's how it looks. So I would say if Baltimore loses this week and Pittsburgh goes in and beats Minnesota in Dublin, obviously that's going to be a really good game because Minnesota has a really good defense, and obviously with Aaron Rodgers,
that game's going to be fun to watch. I have a lot that I want to see in that game. So college plays in the Aviva Stadium in Dublin. The NFL game is going to be in Croke Park, which is
Croke Park.
Completely different turf style. So I mean, we talked about how shitty
it's supposed to rain.
Yeah, I don't know if it's gonna. I mean, it's always
if it's supposed to rain. They don't have Aaron Jones, and
But outside of that, so rain or not, the turf style that they used in the stadium where a college is played is very much a hybrid. They got like synthetic fibers that they weave into the shit. It's fucking insane. go look up what they do for Croke Park. They literally have a turf farm that they pull turf from to go and redo the stadium.
That's crazy.
Is a composition of two different types of actual turf, like grass. It's 100% natural, like custom grown natural grass. It's a blend of Kentucky bluegrass and perennial ryegrass. And they literally replace the entirety of the field after every event. Like they hold the Gaelic games there and all these other things that go on. Like it's this whole huge thing. It's like it's a big deal. They even have a whole website on how it's all done. So I'm going to be interested in to see how this works, because this grass design that they have is specifically engineered to provide grip and traction and stability required for fast play and quick turns. It is designed for all the things that, that we want it to be for. So I'm interested to see how it's going to go. Yeah, but it's pretty cool. They literally pull all of this stuff. There's a dedicated turf farm in North Dublin where they grow and fabricate this and put it together.
Tell me you live in a country that rains a lot without telling me you live in a country that rains a lot. You must be talking about Ireland. Okay. Because you fucking install a brand new field every fucking time. Jesus Christ. That is the weirdest fucking thing ever. Just put AstroTurf in. Like, then you don't have that problem. You don't have that issue. Yeah, it rains. Put a fucking dome over it. Like, what? Okay. All right. Like, is Buffalo going to be grass? Or I'm pretty sure Buffalo's going to put turf in, right? Their new stadium.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Like, what the fuck? Like it goes back to saying, like, when Buffalo was like building that stadium and they're like, oh, are you going to put a dome in it? And they're like, no, we want to be out in the snow. And I'm like, yeah. So you want to be in whiteout snow conditions with 30 feet of snow in your brand new stadium? Okay. You're a fucking idiot, but whatever. Like, it's just that those games that are in different countries, like, I know the Brazil game we talked about, and they talked about how they like weaved in like actual new grass and like they sewed it in or something. Like, that was kind of fascinating. But Ireland, come on, like, just put a fucking dome over it. Just make it simple, make it easy.
I'll send you the link, man. You got to check it out. It's fucking insane how they built this thing out. It's crazy. It is absolutely crazy.
Jesus Christ. All right, guys. Well, that's going to do it for this weekend. Make sure you guys go watch some football this weekend. Okay. All right. Hey, and by the way, Ryder Cup starts tomorrow. We have not talked about the Ryder Cup. I really wanted to, but it's okay. We had too much fun talking about
Justin Thomas and DeChambeau paired up. Oh my God, man. Tomorrow's going to be so much fun.
Who's waking up at 6 a.m. to watch golf?
I am.
But, man, I hope USA wins it, but the pairings do not look great. I think, if anything, they split tomorrow morning. Maybe 2-2. I think that's probably about it. I don't know what the afternoons are. They haven't obviously released it, but I do not have high hopes for the morning. But who knows? I could be wrong. Hopefully I am. Hopefully it's 4-0 by that time. So go watch some golf, watch some sports this weekend, and God, please go watch some baseball. Oh my gosh, there's so much sports action this weekend. This is a sports junkie for you to go sit on your couch, get some Funyuns, some beer, some whiskey, some pizza, I don't care, and sit there for 48 hours and just sit there and watch sports. That's all you should do. All right. Tell your wife that I told you that. Okay. Tell her that, you got permission. Who you kidding? You don't need permission. All right, guys. We'll catch you guys next week. Thank you.
Have a good one, guys.
Have a good night.